Hey everyone, we are live right now covering a severe weather outbreak across parts of the plains, along with a tornado threat. We already had a tornado reported and a report of a 90-mile-per-hour wind gust. So we're going to get right to it. I am meteorologist Jennifer Watson. So welcome. We're excited you're here, and we're here to help answer your questions. I know there's many of you out there. There's been a lot of severe weather over the past couple of weeks. Many have been impacted by damaging straight line wind gusts over 100 miles per hour, tornadoes, and large hail. So we're going to get right to it right now. And it looks like we've got Dorian in the studio.
Hey,
Dorian,
glad
what's
to be here for
happening? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh my God, Dorian. So Dorian is one of my favorite people on this planet. He is incredible. He is actually chasing right now. Right now, we're using Weatherfront, the Weatherfront app. And so you can see right now in front of you, I've got his feed. He's chasing a large cluster of storms. And actually, Dorian, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make your feed full screen so you can kind of talk to what's going on because you actually drove through a haboob earlier today. So can we, like, not too long ago, like 10, 20 minutes ago, I was watching everyone's feeds with all the dust, and it was the really strong inflow into these storms. So Dorian, can you geek out a little bit for us about the haboob and the dust storm?
Yeah, it was crazy. Pretty much zero visibility for a lot of that. Uh, it got better at times, but the inflow was at least 50, maybe 60 miles an hour, which is some of the fastest inflow winds I've experienced.
Yeah, I love it. And who are you chasing with right now, Dorian? That is the question because it is Father's Day weekend. So who is with you right now?
I got my dad here, Dan.
Woo!
Hey, how you doing?
Hi! Oh my gosh, what's your name?
I'm Dan.
Dan, you're so fun. How many times have you been chasing with Dorian?
This is about my third time.
I love it. You know, you have an incredible son, an
Oh,
absolutely
I
incredible son.
know this is just awesome. See if I can get it. We've seen some great storms and structure, but we haven't caught a tornado together yet.
Oh my God. So my fingers are crossed for you today, but a tornado in a field that doesn't damage anything or hurt anyone. That's my wish for you. That Father's Day wish is that both of you see a tornado together. I think that would be absolutely incredible. Jordan, I'm going to shrink your screen just a little bit. I see that you are positioning it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to move this over. So Dorian is right here. So we've got this big cluster of severe storms. And you know what the crazy thing is, Dorian? I was reading some of the discussion just a little bit ago. The fact that there was an 89 mile per hour wind gust that was measured by an NSSL mobile radar unit chasing
Wow.
these storms. So the concern is for you and everyone else here in northwestern Kansas and northern Kansas is the fact that we could see hail up to 3 inches in diameter, 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and possibly a tornado. And it's kind of, I will analyze the setup that we have going on right now. And it's kind of interesting because you can really see where that warm front is located. But tell us what you're visually seeing right now, because you've got a great look at um, some of the storms here near Selden. You are right at Hoaxie, but we've got Menlo, Gem. We've got where you've got some of the heaviest hail around the area. But what are you seeing right now, Dorian?
I'm seeing these storms kind of congeal into a MCS. Still a lot
Yeah.
of inflow, streaming in. Not a lot of outflow yet at all. So
Some nice lightning straight ahead
yeah,
too.
Oh, I
still looks
like
pretty
it.
dusty. Um, yeah, this thing might really kind of just surge and put out some crazy winds.
I know that's what I'm concerned about. It kind of reminds me of last Monday where we were, I believe it was June 8th, perhaps, where they had in Salina, Kansas, a 113 mile per hour reported wind gust. And Dorian, it's great that you're here because you actually are an amazing photographer and artist, and you actually were at an art show that following weekend, and you were talking about all the power lines down and everything else. Can you share with us a little bit about the damage that you saw in Salina after that big complex? Like this reminds me of it, looks very similar. What was that like in Salina for you last weekend?
It was interesting. I haven't seen that kind of widespread damage. Usually it's more, isolated to a narrow corridor, but it was everywhere in Saline County. Uh, they took, 4 to 5 days to get everyone back with power,
How many
and
days was it?
4 to 5.
Wow.
So,
Well, I guess with that many power lines down, it would take
yeah,
that, wouldn't it?
and it was, so there was a kind of a weird feeling around, like, it's a little different when a tornado goes through and carves like a small path. This was just like everyone was affected.
Yeah.
So
No, that's
yeah.
incredible. So there was an art festival, a really large one there, just 5 days after the fact. What was that like? Were there still big crowds, a lot of people there, or not everyone actually attended due to the fact that there was so much damage?
I think everyone kind of came together and wanted a break, even though there was a storm that hit on Saturday, um, and Wednesday, the prior Wednesday. So they were kind of getting hammered, all throughout the week. But, that didn't stop them from putting on a good festival and everyone coming out, even though it did seem to kind of, I'm sure a lot of people were still dealing with damage and power loss. So probably could have been a little bit more people showed up, but just how it is.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Well, you've had 3 amazing weekends in a row with your amazing photography. So if you do not know Dorian, you do not follow Dorian, you absolutely need to, because he's storm chasing with his dad right now. And he's one of the most brilliant storm chasers and just amazing human beings that I know. Dorian, really quick, where can people find you, follow you, like your stuff, all of the things, and purchase your amazing photography?
Just DorianandTerrys.com is my main website, and then on Instagram at Dorian and Terry's.
I
So
love I
and
love
then
it.
Facebook and Twitter too.
That's fantastic. And Dorian, we're going to look. So I don't know if you can see my screen. We're going to look at a little bit of a timeline. This is about 5:05 Central Time, where we were watching this one storm right here, a couple of storms just west of McCook and extreme southwestern Nebraska develop and start dropping south. And there is where we had a couple of reported tornadoes and also really large hail. And so we can select some of these. And actually, Dorian, they just issued a severe thunderstorm warning. You're right on the edge of it. And I will read that to you here in just a second. But I'm kind of following the timeline here of the storms. And we're watching this, and you can see the multiple outflows. I want to show you this, everyone who's watching. So look at this. These are all outflow boundaries right here from the storms. And there's even more. Yes, Dorian, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just watching you.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
watching.
you're watching me do my thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. It's so fun. So what you can see too is there's in different areas. So I'm gonna show this to you. We're gonna click on the pencil again. Oh, whoops, click off the pencil. So this is what we have. We've got this just multiple outflow boundaries. Whoa, struggling there with the pencil. And that's where we're getting a lot of the interaction. And that's also where we can get a little bit of extra spin, a little bit of extra lift that can cause these storms to explode. But kind of scrolling back in time, so you can see this, you can see the outflow, and this is shooting out a huge outflow boundary. But look at this one. This is an interesting outflow boundary. So it's kind of elongated more northwest to southeast, where we've got some other outflow boundaries that are just mainly diving south or south-southwest. So we're going to see how that interaction is. But I do agree with you, Dorian, on the fact that it looks like it's congealing into a larger just complex of storms, and the wind is going to be the greatest threat. What I'm going to do right now is we're going to look at this severe thunderstorm warning that you are under. And so I'm very curious to see. And actually, I'm going to click back on you really quick so we can visually see what is going on. And look at that lightning. Actually, let's zoom in on your screen really quick. Look at your view. Have you noticed anything different over the past couple minutes or so. I see like the camera shaking too. I mean, you can definitely see the wind and practically nonstop lightning.
Yeah, the lightning's really picking up, so that's definitely a sign. This thing's intensifying, and the wind has been constant. So you
Yeah.
kind
And
of
you,
go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. Yeah, keep going, Dorian.
I mean, it's looking like it's getting a little bit of structure too. I'm curious how this looks later. I thought the level of jet was supposed to ramp up, but it seemed like it's already going. I mean, it's cranking right now. So
Yeah. It should. The low level jet is what's going to enhance everything. And so, what the low level jet is basically the strong winds at about 5,000 feet aloft, and there's southerly winds that really pump in the moisture. And they tend to really increase once the sun sets, like in the evening hours. So, a lot of times you think when the sun sets, you're just like, oh, okay, the severe threat is over, or we're really not going to watch anything too organized. But then you get the low level jet kicking in, and that's what can really enhance the storms, increase the moisture, and really amplify everything. And things can really start developing in a big way once that low level jet kicks in. And one thing I do want to talk about, the storm that Dorian and Dan, his dad, who is so awesome, they're looking at right now, where you can see all the lightning, you can see the dark clouds, even some of the rain shafts. So this is actually a severe thunderstorm warning that they're in. And I like what the local National Weather Service office is doing. A lot of them have been doing this over the past few weeks, especially. This is a large severe thunderstorm warning, covers a lot of area, but also they're posting it basically an hour in advance, right? So it goes in for an hour, and it goes into effect for Thomas County, Western Sheridan County, Southeastern Rawlins County, and Southwestern Decatur County. And this is until 7:30 local time. So basically an hour from now. And that's due to the fact that they could see 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, Dorian and Dan, and tennis ball size hail. These storms are beasts. So if you are in the path of this, and basically this entire complex, what I really encourage you to do is charge things if you're not charging your phone and other electronic devices, but also protect your car if you have time. So I'm going to shrink this. You have an amazing view, Dorian, and I'm going to actually keep it up here, but I want to focus in on this cluster of storms basically. So you can see what happened, multiple outflow boundaries, and they're just all interacting with each other, causing these storms to explode. But you've got a lot of strong wind in the upper levels of the atmosphere that are potentially going to be basically rain cooled air being pulled down to the surface. And so you could see 70 to 80 plus mile per hour wind gusts. There was already a report of an 89 mile per hour wind gust by an NSSL unit, which is basically they're working, they're researching, they're capturing data to better understand the atmosphere and why storms develop, what causes them to develop, become severe, and also looking at tornadoes and everything else. And so this particular storm, this is where Dorian is right now with his dad. You can see him, he's right here. And so they're looking right into this notch. There's several other chasers in there as well. And I'm going to zoom in actually quite a bit if I can, because I do want to see a closer look. And what you're seeing on Dorian and Dan's screen, but also here on the radar, is all of the lightning. It's practically continuous lightning. So I imagine Dorian and his dad, they're going to get some pretty amazing lightning shots, especially later on this evening once the sun does set or near sunset. He captures some of his most amazing photography during this time. And he's kind of panning around, showing us just a little bit. He may be moving too, but we're seeing the full 360 scope of the atmosphere, where it actually looks kind of pretty far away from where that storm is on the south side. But then you look to the north and northwest, and it's very, very mean looking. And so right where he is, he's just south of Hoxie. Hoxie, you need to be prepared for damaging straight line wind gusts. You have the potential of losing power. A large hail as well, damaging hail to your roof. It could damage the siding of your home, your car. So you still have time. If you are, we don't want that tool, we want the pencil. So if you are in Menlo, anywhere between Menlo and Hoxie, and farther off to the south, Grinnell, Grandfields Park, Oakley. You have time. Menlo, you've got a little bit of time, but you have time to actually get your car into the garage under your carport, potentially protect it somewhere else, and also yourself in a safe place. There is so much lightning. We're watching Dorian. Dorian looks like he's driving south toward Greenfield. Dorian, where are you headed right now? And we'll see. We maybe lost Dorian, and that's okay. We did lose Dorian briefly, and that is a-okay. So welcome to everyone that is here. I'm so glad that you are joining us. We are covering the severe weather threat that we have in the plains. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to dive in. We're watching Dorian and his dad. They're chasing for Father's Day weekend. Very kind of cool and unique. They're driving south right now. So if you want to see, this is where Dorian currently is at the moment in time. He is just south of Hoxie. He is heading down south this way. He may be trying to get a better position. And we also now have a tornado warning. So again, he may be getting in position for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can erase this, what we've got right here. And we do have a tornado warning that is in effect. So we're going to zoom in. He may be trying to better position himself. What's great here about the Weatherfront app is I'm going to double pane this. So we're looking at kind of the mapping and outlooks and radar and everything else, but I want to do a double pane. I want to look at the radar and where we have the possible tornado warning. And so this is actually not possible, but a tornado warning. So what's great about the Weatherfront app, we have multiple tools. And what I want to show you is in particular here, we've got kind of a little bit of like a curly Q happening in this storm where you can see it right here, right? There's the inflow. It's coming out here. This is the little inflow notch that we have right there. And there's definitely multiple areas of rotation around this. If you look over here, this is where we're seeing the velocity on the right-hand side where you've got the greens, the blues, and the reds. Where you see the blues, especially the darker blues, those are stronger wind. When you get the blues or greens backed up against the reds or the pinks, depending on how strong the wind speed is, that's where you have rotation and a possible tornado. So we do now have a tornado warning in effect. And this storm is wrapping around. I'm going to actually show you this, how it's kind of been interacting. You've got that extra spin, and you can see the spin right there. The entire storm is rotating. So we're going to actually look right here and see if we do have if it's radar indicated. It is radar indicated rotation. So, but again, anywhere along this, you could have a quick spin up. And what I mean by that is right here, I'm looking at this kind of bright area right here where you've got some very strong rotation, but you're getting rotation all around this as you've got a very, very strong inflow coming in right here, inflow notch. And what you're basically watching is I put this into motion again. You can see how the storm is just diving south and spinning. It is rotating, especially when I go like this. You can see it, multiple outflow boundaries. And I'm actually going to zoom out really quickly. I'm going to take the pencil off. I want to kind of zoom out so you have a better idea of what is going on here. This is a large cluster of storms that is kind of congealed together in a MCS, a mesoscale convective system. And what we're looking at right here with the arrow is the inflow. But I want you to also pay attention to is some of these feeder bands, kind of these storms right here. So pay attention to, we've got this cell, and then we've got this cell. And so what we're seeing is these two cells are feeding northward into this. And so basically they've kind of combined together. They're getting some extra spin, and that's where we got the tornado warning from. So I'm going to erase everything except for this one arrow. We're going to move forward in time so you can see how they've basically fed into the spin of this storm. So the entire storm is creating this spin. And what you can see, and we just got a little bit of an update right there. I'm going to change this to pink really quick. I'm going to go to the scan right before this one. And so where you can see this, there's little areas of rotation right here where you're getting the red backing up to the green and the blue. And so, and even just like a little bit right here, you could have some brief tornado spin ups. And especially with the entire storm rotating how it is, you could have that, and then we could eventually get a larger circulation. And I will take off this arrow as well. We're going to zoom out a little bit, but this is where we have the tornado warning. And then we have the massive severe thunderstorm warning. So this is for the severe thunderstorm warning is for 70-mile-per-hour wind and tennis ball size hail, large hail with this system. And as we go kind of back in time a little bit, you can see how the storms just kind of congealed together. And then now it's really getting a bit of a spin. And this is the strongest part of the storm right here too, with the hail core. So again, there's some chasers out there that are getting some significant hail, very heavy rain, practically nonstop lightning. And so we're going to see if we can get a better view of Dorian. I'm actually going to check and see if Dorian is backstage. He is not backstage, but we are watching this here very closely because, again, this is a very dangerous storm. And we do have that spin. We do have a tornado warning in effect. And actually, we have had a report of multiple different tornado reports earlier today. And so I will actually showcase those to you. They are just right above here where we had numerous tornado reports. So this was a tornado 1 mile north, approximately 3 minutes ago, but this is a while ago, with debris lofted. So again, 6:08 local time. So again, and there's another tornado report up here. We had a significant wind damage, power pole snapped, farm equipment damage from possible quick tornado. So again, this is another report. So again, this was a brief tornado that touched down, but even with a brief tornado touchdown, you can see how it snapped power lines and caused some damage. So with this tornado warning right here, it's really focused in on the rotation and the specific spin. So if we zoom in a little bit closer, you're going to see where the chasers are. We've got Dorian right here, who probably saw that tornado warning and was just like, what is happening there? So he's paying very close attention. Let me see if I can single pane this. There he is. So he's watching this storm. You can see his feed. He's looking at the storm, seeing if he can actually see anything. That rotation, it may be a rain wrap or tornado just because all of the spin. But let's see if we can look right here. So again, this is where Dorian and his dad, Dan, are. And so we're going to pull this away. And you can see how everything just kind of congealed together and the entire storm is spinning. And just look at the amount of lightning. I can't get over how much lightning is occurring in this area, significant lightning in this area. But also what you're noticing is this. So we had that 80-mile-per-hour wind gust. So again, and we had a 90-mile-per-hour reported wind gust here. So this is a very dangerous storm with straight line damaging wind that has produced damage, along with a couple reported tornadoes earlier on when these were more discrete cells up there across southwestern parts of Nebraska. So again, a very dangerous and scary situation. So I need you, if you are in any of these areas in northwestern Kansas, to take this storm very seriously. You can see how big the severe thunderstorm warning is, because this is for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, tennis ball size hail, but because it's basically congealed into this complex area of powerful storms that's diving off to the south and east. And we've got Dorian here. He is live right now. He's with the Weather Watch team and his dad. Father's Day weekend. A lot of family tend to go out and observe storms together, but you can see right here where the tornado warning is and where a possible tornado could be. We're looking live at Dorian's camera too. And you can see here where you see the darkening sky and he's aimed right there. It may be hard for him to see the tornado only because it may actually be rain wrapped. And so that's what's a little bit scary with this storm too. You can see where we see a broad area of rotation kind of all around if you really look at it. So we've got the rotation right around here, very, very broad, where you see the blues are really strong wind speeds and the reds. So the reds going away from the radar, green, or the blues, which was higher wind speed with the blues, going toward the radar. So when you have those back to back, you get that spin, that counterclockwise spin. And so therefore you can see right there, there's the risk of a possible tornado there, but also looking at this particular area, I mean, there's multiple areas of spin here, but what you're also seeing, if you look to the left side of your screen, we're looking at the velocity right here, there, it's likely embedded in rain if anything does spin up, which makes it even more dangerous. So you have to be extra careful, extra vigilant, and pay attention to what you're looking at, because it can be very, very scary. And so again, it's something to keep in mind with these storms. If you're in the path of these storms, we'll zoom out. Menlo, you're getting the worst of it right now. You're getting really the front edge, which can be oftentimes the strongest part of the storm or the strongest wind gusts. So Menlo, you're getting the worst of it. Hoaxie, you're seeing the dark sky, and there's that tornado warning is just off to the northwest of you. So you need to basically hunker down, let the storm pass you, because if we look at the path of the storm, it is racing to the south and east. So you're likely going to be with like maybe even 10, 20, 30 minutes of very heavy rain, also some large hail in there too. You could have dollar size, ping pong ball size, tennis ball size hail. So again, this is a very dangerous storm and complex of storms. So you need to seek shelter immediately, especially if you're in the tornado warning. But in a storm like this, that is so big, and I will single pane this so you guys can see. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. I do have the tornado watch here. The tornado watch is in red. That is in effect until 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock Mountain Time and Central Time. Just so you're aware, we also have a severe thunderstorm watch farther off to the south too. The real risk for tornadoes was actually going to be this area right up here, but I'm going to zoom out a little bit because we do have a unique area right up here. So I'm going to actually see if I can zoom into this area. There's a lot of different things, but the great thing is we have a lot of unique tools here with Weather Watch. And so actually this is a location we can look at different things, but we've got this storm here. This is an elevated storm just off to the north and west of Grand Isle, Nebraska. Grand Island, Nebraska. And so it's actually north of the north front or the warm front. And let's see, what I want to do is I'm going to broadly switch from the radar. We're going to look at the overall risk of severe storms for today. So again, this is from the Storm Prediction Center. And I will actually zoom in just a little bit on this. So again, where we're seeing the worst of the storms right now is currently located right around Colby, Kansas, northwestern parts of Kansas. The warm front is still to the north, but this is the greatest area for severe storms. Tornado risk is really centered right over here from southeastern parts of Wyoming, northeastern Colorado, extreme southwestern parts of Nebraska, and northwestern northern parts of Kansas. So there's still a tornado threat, and that even does continue just west of Kansas City, but then it becomes more of a wind threat. This is the wind concern that we have. We've already had reported wind gusts of 89 miles per hour from an NSSL unit that is actually getting research and data from these storms. And then we had another report of an 80-mile-per-hour wind gust. So again, we already know the wind is there and the hail is there too. So again, looking at the hail risk, the greatest risk for hail is basically right where it is right now. This will eventually turn into mainly a straight line wind event and rainmaker, heavy rain and lightning, but the damaging straight line wind is going to be a big concern. And I think about back to last Monday, June 8th, where Salina, Kansas had a 113-mile-per-hour reported wind gust at the local airport. There were dozens of power poles snapped. And we heard from Dorian a little bit earlier, it took 4 to 5 days for them to repair the power to everyone. So again, keep everything charged tonight. Be vigilant. Even if you're not in a tornado warning but severe thunderstorm warning, if there's a threat of hail, definitely stay away from the windows. You don't want to be looking through the windows because hail, especially with damaging straight line wind, 70, 80 plus miles per hour, that could basically go right through your window and cause flying glass. So you just want to stay away from the windows, just kind of hunker down, wait for the storm to pass, and protect your car if you do have time. So this is the setup that we have going on right now. And you can look at the forecast discussion, which is amazing. We're not going to dive down deep into it right now, but the Weatherfront app offers that, which is absolutely incredible. We can also look at the observations. And so we can look at the surface-based CAPE. You can see where the highest CAPE levels are. We actually have the lightning still on, so you can see where the storms are. I do want to look at the temperature because this is where you can kind of tell where the warm front is, right? And so I'm going to actually draw it out here for you. You can see Kansas City is currently sitting at 83 degrees, but look at Beatrice here, Nebraska, and 69 in Kearney, whereas just to the south, it's 82 degrees in Salina, 85 in Hayes, and you've got a boiling 90 degrees in Colby, but 78 in McCook. So where do you think that warm front is draped across, right? We've got the warm front kind of coming, not the best drawer, but like kind of crossing right through there. We know where the warm front is. We've got an area of low pressure basically right there. Clearly, I need to work on my artistry, but we've got a low right here. So you've got that warm front kind of draped across, and you can see the difference in the temperature there. And so that warm front can be kind of a focal point for extra spin, extra vorticity, and can sometimes cause storms to get the extra little oomph they need to produce a tornado. But let's get right back to the radar. I want to look at that specifically. We also have this up here in Grand Island, and actually I wanted to take a look at that too. So we're going to look at multiple things at once, and this is a mesoscale discussion right here. So this is not a tornado warning. This is a mesoscale discussion, and I'm going to read that to you because we're looking at storms elevated there. And I will actually, let me switch the radar. And the great thing here about Weatherfront is that you can look at the state, right? And look at all the radars. It's very organized for you. So you don't have to like search and find the identifier. You can just go to the state you're looking for. So we're looking for Nebraska, right? And so let's see, North Platte, Nebraska gives us a little bit, it shows us there. Let me see if we can do, we've got Omaha. We could do Omaha as well. Let me see if Omaha is any better. Yeah, there's Omaha. So we're going to look at Omaha. So the biggest concern with this, and I'm going to kind of look through this mesoscale discussion, is basically clusters of elevated thunderstorms. These thunderstorms here in Nebraska are elevated. And so that basically they're north of the warm front that I just showed you. The temperature is in the mid to upper 60s across southern Nebraska. So the cloud base for these storms are a lot higher than south of the warm front, where your surface base, you have a lot more moisture to work with. And so these are all kind of trailing in the same place, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning. So basically they're saying clusters of elevated thunderstorms continue to develop this afternoon across portions of eastern Nebraska as southwesterly moist warm air advection in the 850 to 700 millibar layer continues into the region. Strongly veering with height wind profiles have resulted in effective layer shear around 50 knots across the region, which has yielded thunderstorm organization with overall storm motion to the southeast, given the northwesterly mid to upper level flow. And so basically, we've got a lot of Cape. Thermodynamically, the continued convection across eastern Nebraska is reinforcing a northwest to southeast surface boundary, which is effectively serving as an instability gradient. To the southwest of this boundary that I was talking to you, the warm front, we've got the Cape values upwards of 3,000. And there's two main areas to monitor that have emerged over the past hour. The first is southeast Nebraska, where an elevated supercell has produced hail around 1 inch per local storm report from the Weather Service office. So this storm right here, producing 1 inch size hail. This will continue to move east-southeast toward the greater Kansas City metro area. So we're looking at this mesoscale discussion right now. And so basically all of this, and what they're concerned with just a little bit, is the fact that all of this, especially this cell, this is all tracking down to the Kansas City metro, which is right here where we have the Weather Watch headquarters. The secondary area is the Northwest, where several thunderstorms have organized into elevated linear MCS that have produced reports of 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So that's what we're concerned with here. But I do want to pay attention to where we do have the tornado warning. And this is where we're seeing the biggest extreme threat for severe storms. But again, large hail here around Grand Isle with this particular severe thunderstorm warning, and potentially damaging straight line wind gusts. We already had a report of 70 mile per hour wind. This is all tracking southeast. We'll be moving toward York, Geneva, Beatrice, Marysville potentially, but heading down Kansas City overnight. This is going to be a big deal for you. So you'll likely be woken up by quite a bit of lightning and heavy rain. We're going to switch the radar, show you how easy it is. We're in Kansas now. Let's go up to where we see Kansas. We're going to go right here. So we've got Kansas right here. We're going to go to Goodland. That's the radar, the closest radar. And so again, this is what I love about the local National Weather Service offices. And when there's an event like this, because they are fully aware of what the risk is. And so therefore, they just issued a huge severe thunderstorm warning in advance of this starting to be Boeing line of storms. And you can see this is where we had the other big severe thunderstorm warning, and that was for tennis ball size hail and 70 mile per hour wind gusts. But they're warning you ahead of time because this storm system is moving so fast, and also the significant risk and the reports that we do have of damage. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more. Where we have this, we still have the tornado warning, and you can see they just issued, which I love about the Weatherfront app. They just issued this severe thunderstorm warning right here to extend to just include the eastern side there, that it's expanding just a little bit as well. But as we put this into motion, I want you to see kind of all the outflow boundaries and the storms. It's all kind of merging together. And you can see, just as we look at this over the past couple of hours, the different outflow boundaries. You can seriously see this one that is been moving off to the west. You've got these cells moving northeast into this. So there's a lot of spin, a lot of shear, but I think the biggest thing is going to be the damaging straight line wind. And so when we actually put this into motion a little bit more, when I was diving into this a little bit earlier, you could really see the spin, and you can still see the spin and also the expanse as we watch. If you look at this right here, we've got this boundary, this outflow boundary right here, multiple outflow boundaries together. And so as we watch them, if you keep an eye on those, you can see how they all just are kind of creating more, they're combining together, and more storms are developing. So we're getting a lot more widespread thunderstorm development as we were expecting. Models were showing this as well. And you can see, I'm going to take one more marker off there, but you can see how expansive this is. This is a solid cluster moving off to the south and east. And so what I'm going to do is let's check in on Dorian really quick. He's right here with weather.watch. If you have not done so, make sure to follow weather.watch on all of social media, on YouTube, as well as check out weather.watch. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to look at a couple of the severe thunderstorm warnings really quickly. And for those of you that are joining us, I'm so glad that you are joining us as we are watching this severe line of storms in northwest Kansas. So we're keeping a very close eye on this. The new severe thunderstorm warning that is farther down to the south, that is in effect for Logan County in west central Kansas and western Gove County. And so again, this storm, all of this is moving south at about 30 miles per hour. Now, these are destructive storms for Logan and western Gove counties. They have that in bold because it's significant. 80 mile per hour wind gusts are possible along with quarter size hail. What I like about this severe thunderstorm warning is the fact that the hail size has been reduced. It was tennis ball size hail earlier on, Quarter-size hail still can cause damage. You still need to stay away from windows, but at least less damaging than larger hail. The concern is, too, multiple reports of 80 to 90 mile per hour wind gusts in Colby at 6:30 local time. So this is right around 34 minutes ago in Colby, Kansas. We had reports of 80 to 90 mile per hour wind. So that, even if it's not a tornado, damaging straight line wind can snap numerous power lines. And we witnessed that just about a week and a half ago in Salina, Kansas, where we had that Boeing line of storms. I was actually I was out running that storm. We were seeing the lowering wall cloud and likely saw the tornado, but it was so dark. It was right before 9 o'clock in the evening local time. And so we were just like, we kind of had to outrun everything because the winds were coming so fast. And we ended up driving all the way down to Wichita before we ended up letting it pass through and driving back home to Kansas City. So it was a bit of an interesting ride, but looking at this right now, you can see we're watching Dorian's feed. He's diving south a little bit because you're kind of playing cat and mouse when you're storm chasing, right? You want to get as close as possible because it's fascinating, and it's beautiful. But then at the same time, you got to then quickly drop south so you don't get, receive all the winds, get the damage and possible tornado. So the good news is here, we're going to look at this really quickly. We do have this tornado warning. Doesn't look like there's actually been a tornado report in this tornado warning. I'm going to see how much longer this tornado warning does last. And so again, that's still another concern. We did have a confirmed tornado 7 miles east of Menlo. So we did have a confirmed tornado. And this was earlier on. This was about, let's see. No, this was actually, it's still ongoing. So this is updated new information. A confirmed tornado was located 7 miles east of Menlo or 8 miles west of Hoxie, moving southeast at 30 miles per hour, damaging tornado and softball size hail. So emergency management confirmed a tornado 5 miles west of Selden and softball size hail. So this is significant. This area right here is significant. So I'm going to remove this really quickly. So we had confirmation, emergency management confirmed our tornado. And let's see, we're going to zoom in right here. Located 7 miles east of Menlo, and 8 miles west of Hoxie. So the tornado was basically, and this is just a couple minutes ago. So what we're going to do, we're going to double pane this. We're going to look at the radar where you can see it, and you can see the rotation. I'm going to show you this right here. Remember, I was showing you the rotation in this storm. There's quite a bit of rotation there. There's also a little bit, you got to be careful of this, brief little spin ups in the heavy rain that may catch you off guard if you're driving behind it. But it looks like that we do right here. This is where there's a reported tornado, which probably occurred. I'm going to just remove this. So they said right between, this is Menlo, this is Hoxie, right here. So right in between here, right in the middle. So right where we're seeing that rotation is likely where we saw the tornado. And it may be in a little kink right here as well, where we saw the storm. So actually, let's move this back in time a little bit and see. Yeah, no, it's probably like right around here. We got to be careful of a little kink here in this storm. But what you can see with all of this going on right now is the fact that the rotation, the storm, remember I mentioned it was ingesting inflow boundaries, basically interacting with inflow boundaries, ingesting other storms that are moving in from the south and west. So we are getting that rotation, right? You can see it right there. It's just been spinning, spinning, spinning. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more so you can really see the spin in this storm. And that is the biggest concern. So still remaining with this tornado warning continues is a confirmed tornado on the ground by emergency management and a report of softball size hail. That is significant. That can cause severe roof damage to your car, break your windshield, windows, can also siding to the house or building you're in and smash through windows. So we've also had reports of 70, even 80 mile per hour wind gusts and a report of an 89 mile per hour wind gust from the NSSL research unit a little bit ago, probably about an hour and a half ago. But what I want to show you is just the spin. You see it wrapping around I mean, it's like the spin is just like a bowling ball right there. So again, it is continuing to dive south. So those of you in near Grinnell, Greenland, or Grainfield, I believe. It's hard looking at um, the storm chasers. Everyone's trying to get to the south and kind of get in position, and they're trying to avoid the worst of the straight line wind, but also get a better view to see what is going on, because we did have a report of a tornado. So again, you can see where that spin is. We've got that tornado warning right here. I will outline it for you. This is the tornado warning, and likely the tornado is where you can see this is where the rotation is. There is rotation, like broad rotation, all along here. So again, you could have a brief spin up at any time. Anytime you get like a kink or something else, you can get a brief spin up tornado. And so that is the concern. So we got to watch, even though this area right here is not under a tornado warning, we need to be very vigilant and careful, because we could see an extended tornado warning, especially with the spin in this storm. And actually, it does remind me of what we saw last week, last Monday in Salina, because the entire storm was rotating. I remember I couldn't remember a time where I saw just, you've got this huge mesocyclone rotation, and you knew there had to be a tornado or something very violent in there just because of the spin. This is a broader spin, but you can see here on the reflectivity, this is the inflow to the storm right now. So likely you're experiencing, if you're like anywhere in this area or just even just south and east, you're likely experiencing a very strong wind and or inflow moving into the storm. So the wind is rushing toward the storm. That's the inflow. That's the inflow notch right here, where we're getting the worst of that wind. And then we have the overarching kind of spin of this storm right here. So again, there's a lot of different factors going on here. We've got several different outflow boundaries it's interacting with. The main warm front it's interacting with storms moving in from the south and west, and the low level jets starting to strengthen. So there's many things that are happening. So again, if you are in this area, you're in Northwest Kansas, you need to take this storm very seriously. What I'm going to do right now is, we just got a new mesoscale convective outlook. And so I'm going to take a closer look at that. This is more focused on this particular storm, of everything we have going on right here. I will zoom out a little bit. You can see all of the lightning, significant lightning there. And there is likely going to be, there needs to be, there's a gap here in the severe thunderstorm warnings. There needs to be another one issued here pretty quickly, because Gove, Quinter, this storm is heading towards you with potentially a 60, 70, if not 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts and large hail, softball size hail reported. This is where we're seeing the greater hail right around here, softball size, and then more quarter size hail around here. So again, significant hail cores, very strong storms. And so you need to be in your safe place, just once this passes through, because also one thing with these damaging straight line wind gusts, even if there is no tornado, they can fall on your home. So you want to get into a safe place, a safe room, so you can protect yourself and your family. Now I'm looking at this mesoscale discussion. That's what this outline is. And so it's kind of talks about, okay, so what is happening right now? So what they're saying is merging supercells have recently formed into a cold pool driven MCS. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Remember, with all the outflow boundaries I was showing you. So again, a cold pool driven MCS. In the last 30 minutes, multiple measured gusts over 90 miles per hour and appreciable damage have been reported in the Colby, Kansas vicinity. Some Boeing tendencies have been noted with this MCS, with the KDDC radar inbound velocity data showing the onset of a rear inflow jet developing with the aid of remnant supercell mesocyclones, which may be transitioning to effective bookend vortices. This convective morphology is unfolding within a highly favorable mesoscale setup. So with the MCS bow echo structure roughly traversing a retreating baroclinic boundary, and then you've got CAPE 2,500 to 3,000 joules per kilogram and 60 plus knots of effective bulk shear perpendicular to the MCS leading line. Several 75 plus mile per hour gusts are expected, with some potentially reaching 100 miles per hour over the next couple of hours. So again, destructive cluster of storms. And like I was talking about, I've been showing you the outflow boundaries. We've got the warm front, and we've talked about all these cells congealing into a mesoscale convective system. We've seen the rotation. It's got large hail, but I've been comparing it to what we saw last Monday in Salina, where they had over 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We've already had multiple reports. This even states it over 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts right around the Colby, Kansas area. And so I can't enforce this enough. So Colby, I will briefly zoom out, and actually I will single pane this so we can see this. So Colby, Kansas is right here. And the thing is, we are likely the large hail. So we've got Colby, Kansas right here, multiple 90-mile-per-hour wind speed reports. And then we've got very large hail here, very large hail, upwards of softball size hail. We had emergency manager report a tornado between Menlo and Hoxie a little bit ago. Not sure if it's on the ground still. We have had multiple tornado reports that just a little bit ago. You can see them up here. Multiple brief tornado reports up here. This is in Nebraska, one here near Eden. And so again, dangerous complex of storms. The biggest concern with these storms right now, yes, there's still rotation in it. So you could have a brief spin up, but the big concern is the damaging straight line wind. That is the biggest concern that we have. And this discussion is mentioning could have some 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That is significant. So if you live anywhere, Oakley, you're getting some strong wind right now, Monument, Grinnell, but Grainfield, Quinter, Gove, Elkiner, Russell Springs, anywhere in this huge vicinity, you need to be prepared. I know you're used to severe storms by now, if you've lived here for a while, but again, this entire area that is just about to be impacted by these storms, I need you to get into a safe place. You do have farther south you are, you do have some time to get into to get your car in a garage or a carport. But again, a very dangerous situation unfolding for Kansas. And you can see too, with the way these storms are propagating, they're mainly diving, they're taking a southward dive. If you can notice it. So they're all kind of congealing. Look at all the outflows. I mean, it is outflow after outflow after outflow. And so just like the mesoscale discussion said, very outflow driven with these storms, and as they continue to dive down to the south. So this is a very significant storm system. And I'm going to see if we can get Dorian back live with us right now. Dorian is one of our chasers. Oh, and it got cut off. No worries. I'm going to see if Dorian, no worries, want to join us again. So again, Dorian is out there with Weather.Watch. He has been on the storm, watching the storm. Dorian is one of the best storm chasers that I know. He has learned a lot over the past 5 or 6 years just by looking at the storm itself. Yes, you can look at the radar, you can look at the setup and everything, but once you're out in the field, it's more so looking at the storm structure, understanding where the inflow is, where the wall cloud might be, where the overarching storm is, and so where the rear flank downdraft is, understanding just the inflow, inflow tail, all of that. And so Dorian is incredible and awesome. He's actually chasing with his dad right now. So it's a Father's Day chase. And they're basically, all the chasers right now are playing a little cat and mouse game with this storm because it is so severe. So you can see a lot of them right here. And this is Dorian facing the storm. So let's see how big we can get it. So he is actually driving probably east. They're probably trying to escape it because they know how significant and big this storm is and the damaging wind. And looking at this, I kind of want to look at this Boeing feature right here, where you see this. This is where you've got the spin. Also, you've got some of the strongest wind. And all of this is mainly diving off to the south, but it's a little bit off to the southeast. So you have to be a little bit careful as well. So what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to jump off. I'm going to get a little extra water really quick because there's a lot going on. Give me 60 seconds and I will be right back. So hold on 1 second. All right, 60 seconds. I am back. How fast was that? That was super fast. Trying to make it super fast. So again, if you are just joining us, welcome. We are here watching a severe weather event kind of unfold. And it's a very dangerous situation. This is more a straight line damaging wind threat rather than a hail threat. And so, or a tornado threat, I should say. Hail is very significant. What I do want to do is I've been looking back in time here, and you can see how I want you to look at this, all of these. So these are all outflow boundary, outflow boundary, outflow boundary, outflow boundary. Got one here, this outflow boundary. So again, watch these outflow boundaries through time and how they kind of interact with each other. So the outflow boundary from the northern storms cause other storms to develop, enhance those storms. So again, a significant event is unfolding right now due to hail and damaging straight line wind. Now, we did have a couple of reports of tornadoes, but the biggest concern right now is the damaging straight line wind and significant hail. Now, what I'm looking at, why I'm looking at this, so I was kind of paying attention to this. We've got this severe thunderstorm warning here, just off to the west of Goodland, Kansas, all shifting off to the east too. And you can see, again, we've got another outflow boundary. We've got another outflow boundary. We're going to have more outflow boundaries coming from here. So again, everything is outflow boundary driven, which we're seeing, which we got confirmation from this mesoscale discussion too. But with this band right here, this western band, we've got that severe thunderstorm warning. So this is just off to the west of you. This is in Goodland, Kansas. And so I'm going to zoom in on this really quick. So this particular severe thunderstorm warning, this is 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and ping pong ball size hail. So this is very significant for this line of storms as well. This line of storms is going to be near Colorado at 610, Ruleton 620, Goodland 635, about to be near you, Sharon Springs at 645. So again, it's already moving through some of these areas, has been through some of these areas. But again, you need to be very careful, especially I'm thinking of high profile vehicles on some of these major highways moving across here, I-70 in northern Kansas, very significant. So again, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and ping pong ball size hail with this line just right here. It's approaching you, Goodland. So Goodland, be prepared for this. We've got a severe line of storms heading towards you. So a very dangerous situation there. And I have actually asked Dorian back on the feed to see if he can join us, but he may be having to play cat and mouse with this particular storm. So again, we're going to have to be careful with that. We want him to stay safe, as we want everyone to stay safe. What I'm looking at right here is where we have significant lightning, and we also have a continued tornado warning. And so what I want to show you here is this is the old tornado warning right here. And this is the new tornado warning we have right here. And so I'm going to look at this for you too. And so review the significance for this. So the old tornado warning, that has been allowed to expire. You don't have to worry about that. But the new one, which is right here, I'm going to highlight this for you again so you can see it. It's a little bit difficult to see. This is the new tornado warning right here. And so we're looking at, like I've been showing you, the broad rotation. This is radar indicated, but keep this in mind. A tornado is possible with this storm, along with baseball size hail. There's been a history of 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this particular storm right here. With this cell off to our west, Colby had several reports of 90-plus-mile-per-hour wind gusts and damage. We've had wind damage reports that have snapped power lines. We've had a couple tornado reports as well, but particularly, again, it's been this storm right here, this entire cluster, merging cells has now developed into an MCS where we're seeing a very dangerous situation of damaging straight line wind and very large hail and possibly some brief spin up tornadoes. So I'm going to actually double pane this. What I want to do is I want to look at the rotation. We've been doing this before. And so what I've showed you in the past is this entire storm is rotating, kind of like a bowling ball. It's been the merger of several different cells, interactions between multiple different outflow boundaries, storms moving in from the south and west, strong low-level jet, and interacting with a warm front. And so there's just a lot of twist in the atmosphere. And so look at this. Look how this storm has just kind of barreled south. And so where we're concerned with rotation is actually right here. This is where we're concerned with the rotation. And what I'm talking about here is basically where we've got the greens or the blues. Blue is a higher wind gust, and the reds. So red is wind away from the radar, moving away from the radar. Green and the blues, which is the higher wind speed, is the blues, moving toward the radar. So you're getting them, once you get them back to back, side by side, you're getting that rotation. And so that's what we're seeing right there. And so we've got a broad area. So again, it's not super tight, it's broad, it's radar indicated, but we did have a report of a tornado between Menlo and Hoaxie by emergency management and a report of softball size hail by emergency management. So again, the rotation, it is possible for it to tighten up again and produce another tornado. So again, there's concern with that, along with baseball to softball size hail. That is going to cause significant damage. Those straight line wind gusts that could cause power outages. So one thing I need you to do, Granfield, this is you're about to see the worst of the storm, the strongest of the winds. Granfield, you're just getting into the light to moderate rain. The heaviest and strongest wind and hail is coming for you. So again, you need to just get into an interior room, because with damaging straight line wind, 70, 80, 90 plus mile per hour, and they did say in the mesoscale convective outlook or discussion, they did say 100 plus mile per hour gusts are possible. And you can see the flashing. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning as well. And I will take a look at that. But again, when you have damaging straight line wind and large hail, it can smash. I've seen video after video when you have large hail, damaging straight line wind, and the hail smashes through windows because of the damaging wind, the straight line wind. And so you just need to stay away from windows. I would, maybe put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Yes, we have the tornado warning, but again, the bigger threat is the damaging straight line wind, which is equivalent to an EF1 tornado. We could see wind up to that. So again, that can knock down trees onto your home, could knock power out. So I want you to charge your phone, do what you can to get things charged really quickly, because these storms are moving fast. Gove, you are now just getting into some light rain, some more moderate rain is heading toward you, but again, very dangerous. And then looking out along here, you can see kind of the wind interaction here. This is like the leading edge. we could see a brief spin up along this leading edge, because what you see here, and I'm going to show you, is you see these areas of rotation, especially like this right here, where you've got the deeper blue with the red. We could have a brief spin up there. We could have a brief spin up right there. So again, brief spin ups are possible along here, but the bigger concern is the damaging straight line wind and the hail. So I'm going to look at this particular severe thunderstorm warning because I want you to be prepared for it. This is, you've got the tornado warning right here. I'm going to outline it for you right here. And there's the report of the tornado that we had earlier that I was mentioning. Emergency managers reported that tornado and softball size hail. And then we have this huge severe thunderstorm warning out surrounding this larger storm. Ooh, I'm struggling here with the pencil. Ooh. Trying to make it happen, but you get the gist. You get the gist. It doesn't have to be perfect. So again, but I'm concerned a little bit with some brief spin up tornadoes. So looking at this the large area of where we're seeing the severe weather threat, the severe thunderstorm warning, 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 3-inch size hail. So a spotter reported baseball size hail near Seguin at 7 p.m. So about 31 minutes ago, we had a storm spotter report baseball size hail at 7 p.m. So 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 3-inch size hail. Keep in mind, we already had a report of an 89-mile-per-hour wind gust by the NSSL research unit about an hour and a half ago. We've had multiple reports of 90-plus-mile-per-hour wind gusts around Colby, Kansas that caused some significant damage. And we've had separate other reports of 80 to 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So again, those types of winds can snap power lines, cause you to lose power, knock trees down onto your house potentially. And with the hail, that can cause significant damage to your roof, to the siding, that can smash through windows. So what you really need to do is try and get into an interior room or really stay away from windows. If you are in the path of this Granfield, this is approaching you now. Gove, you're just about to be you're about to be impacted here by the worst of it in the next, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes. Quinter, you need to be prepared for this. And areas south and east. So I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. Elkadir, very hard pronunciations. This is coming for you. Healy, Utica. I'm just thinking down the line where these storms are going. I want to give you as much of a heads up as you possibly can. Dighton, this could be heading toward you. Ransom, this is heading toward you. Keeney, this could be heading toward you. So again, very dangerous situation. And what you're seeing with the updates, you're watching all of the chasers trying to get out of the way. They are all driving east. They are all hightailing it out of the way because they know the damaging wind. You don't want to be on the road at all. If you can, get off the highway, get to a safe place, because riding this out in your car with hail and wind, we saw multiple reports and video of someone who was driving in Salina, Kansas, I believe, or a surrounding town, that the wind was so strong, it basically pushed them off the road and they just could not drive. They had just to wait it out. So again, if you're traveling anywhere on any of the major highways, I-70, anywhere else, you need to just get to the closest building, sturdy structure, and just ride out this storm. Don't try and beat it because you may not be able to. And that's a dangerous game to play too. You can see all the storm chasers are leaving. They know how crazy this is, not only because of the damaging straight line wind that can knock down power lines onto your car if you're driving on the highway or a road, but also the hail. They don't want to destroy their cars. So they're getting the heck out of the way. So what I need you to do, if you're in the path of any of these storms, is I need you to stay away from the windows, and, try and get into an interior room, the lowest level of your home, just because with winds this strong, you could have tree limbs knocked down, full trees knocked down. You could lose power, so make sure you have batteries, flashlights ready. Make sure you can charge your electronics, your phone as much as possible. But yeah, this is a very dangerous situation. With these storms moving south and east. I kind of want to show you like the spin that these have, like the bowling ball aspect you can see, especially with this right here, where we've had numerous tornado warnings right here. Because, and you can see it, now I'll actually put this into motion. You can see it spinning. Look at that. And we just, with the dynamics, the hail is significant. So I want you to really get into a safe place, ride it out there, because storm chasers are getting away from this because they know how strong it is. My partner and I, we were out running this storm, basically a similar MCS from Salina, Kansas, that had 113-mile-per-hour wind gusts reported at the Salina airport, and numerous 90, 100 plus mile per hour gusts reported, and power lines down. So this is heading south and east, and this is heading south and east fast. Now, what I want to look at and zooming in really quickly is where you see, we talk about this, the red and the green right next to each other. So you can see the difference in the wind. And this is wrapping all around here. So again, it's more so like this rotation right here on the backside. We're seeing some of the brighter blues and reds. We could have some rotation and a brief spin up tornado. And even along this main line too, this leading edge, we could have a brief spin up. So again, tornadoes are possible. There is spin. The entire system in meso or MCS is spinning as well. Mesoscale convective system is spinning. So again, it would be very easy to get a quick little spin up tornado. So we're going to have to watch this very closely. But the biggest concern is the wind. We've been watching it. We've been monitoring it. And we've been telling you about it. We have with this right here, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. So we've got the counties in red. That was a tornado watch. And that's probably going to be, once this clears that area, will be allowed to expire. That is in effect until 9, 10 o'clock Mountain Time, Central Time. And then farther down to the south, this is a severe thunderstorm watch. And this is going to stay in place for a hot second because of thinking about Nest City. So when we watch the motion, so I'm going to show you this, and I will actually make it single pane. And you can see this is what's very unique about this situation. So look at this. We've got basically all the storm chasers right here. This is how dangerous this storm is. All of the storm chasers right along here are all leaving. They are all driving this way on the highway. They are getting out of Dodge because this severe storm is coming with 90 to 100 plus mile per hour straight line wind. And we've had baseball size hail reported, softball size hail reported. And with the latest severe thunderstorm warning, they're warning for 80 mile per hour winds or higher and 3-inch size hail. 3 inches can do significant damage. And if you're outside in a hailstorm, it can actually kill you. It can hurt you, it can damage you. So you just want to stay inside, stay away from the windows because they can fly through that. But look at all the chasers. The chasers are leaving. They're getting out of there because they know how severe it is. And they may be riding east and then potentially diving south. But again, they have to get as far east as possible because what we're seeing here, and I want to show you, and we can kind of predict where this is going. So you have right here, you're looking at this. So watch how individual these cells were individual. We had some reported tornadoes west of McCook a little bit earlier when we had discrete cells. We also had a discrete cell north of Ray in extreme northeastern Colorado. Then everything kind of congealed, propagated southward, a lot of inflow. And then we've had just a lot of interactions with outflow boundaries. Now the warm front, the low level jet is kicking in now that we're toward the end of the day, that it's winds at about 5,000 feet above the surface. That's bringing in that warm, moist air. So storms north of the warm front were elevated earlier on. They're now more surface based. And we're just seeing just this mesoscale convective system is basically multiple thunderstorms merging together into one massive storm bowing out right now, where we've had reports of 90 to 100 plus miles per hour, and have had reports of ping pong ball size hail, baseball size hail, softball size hail. We've had a couple tornadoes. That is still going to be a concern, but the damaging straight line wind and the large hail is the biggest threat at this time. And though wind gusts of 90 to even 100 plus mile per hour, which is what the Storm Prediction Center has been highlighting and has mentioned, that can knock down power lines. There's been multiple power lines snapped already and damage around Colby, Kansas, but that can cause significant damage. There's already been damage to farming equipment, a reported tornado between Hoxie and Menlo not too long ago. You can see where some of the tornado reports are. But as we look at this, and I want to look at this with you, is you can see how everything was kind of isolated. We had some smaller cells moving in from the south and west, interacting with outflow boundaries, merging with other cells. And so again, we're watching this huge kind of bowing line. This is our main edge. This right here, this is what is kind of diving more south and east. And so Ness City, Keene, Dighton, Scott City, just looking ahead, La Crosse, Burdett, Jetmore, this could be impacting you. And let's actually look at the motion. Let's see how accurate it is. If it's more south, yeah, so it's diving a little bit more south-southeast. So again, Scott City, Dighton, I'm not sure if it's going to move through Garden City, but you gotta, Ness City, you still need to be prepared for this. Keene, you need to be prepared for this as well. Again, damaging straight line wind gusts, 80 plus miles per hour, and 3-inch size hail with possible brief spin up tornadoes. I'm going to put the pencil back on. I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to check Dorian's feed. He is with Weather Watch. And so I'm going to see how he is doing right now. So we're going to take a look. Dorian, they're racing. He's actually, let's see, is he more steady? They're staying there. There's others that are, there's Waukene. There used to be a Twisters bar in Waukene, Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. And then it actually got hit by a tornado, and then it was Twisters too. And I'm not sure if it's there. Someone in Kansas will have to let me know if that's the case. But we're watching numerous chasers that are just 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You're getting out of Dodge. This is where, Dorian and Dan, his dad Dan, are in Quinter, and they are still there. So let's see if they can give us a good visual. This is our Weather Watch team of the storm. So we're gonna take this off. Let's click and see what they are seeing, because they're either driving away or they're looking at it. They're stopped. I had a feeling they were stopped and they were looking at it, because you can see the movement of the other chasers getting out of the way, getting to Hayes, getting as far east as possible. Dorian has stopped. So he has got this view right here. We've got a pretty good inflow notch right here. We've got kind of the bowing line of everything right here. And so he's looking at the different structure that they have. I'm actually going to pull this full screen so you can take a better view. Look at the edge of the storm. Can you see it right there? This is a fantastic view. So this is Dorian. And you can see there was just a Dow, the Dow, which is a mobile Doppler radar, just drove by in front of them. So the Dow, which measures wind speed, is radar 2, just passed in front of them. So there's the NSSL, there's the Dow, there's a lot of different research missions that are ongoing right now. And so because of the complexity of what is happening right now with these discrete cells, multiple interactions with these outflow boundaries, basically outflow boundary driven, now interacting with a warm front. You've got the strong low level jet. You've had other storms feeding in from the south and west. this has turned into a huge beast. You can see where the lowest part of the cloud is, and now things are surface based. So Dorian is right now, he was giving us a gorgeous view of the storm, but he is now getting on the road and traveling east a little bit because he's like, I got to get the heck out of here because there is strong wind. But you can see there's other storm chasers off to the side of the road. So he's being very smart, taking things very slow. And look how dark it is. Like he's already under some very low clouds. He's turning back around again. He's actually heading north. So let me see if we can, I'm going to see if I can track him on the app. So this is a great view of how fierce the storm is. So he is heading, you can see his direction right here. He is heading, it looks like he's heading northeast a little bit, but gosh, look at that view. So he is pulling over. We're going to look at this for a second. Look at the beast of the storm right there. This is a gorgeous view. This is from Dorian. He is our Weather Watch team right now. That is live. He's actually chasing with his dad, Father's Day weekend. And you can see where the rain shaft is. You see where the largest kind of the curved like barn right there. You can see just a little bit difference in the shadow right there where you're seeing the rain shaft. You're seeing practically nonstop lightning. We're moving again. So he may be getting into a different location, but he's having to play cat and mouse a little bit and be very careful because there is very strong damaging straight line wind. There's likely another mobile unit right there. I'm not sure what that was, but a lot of these cars right here are chasers likely. And there may be, you know what, those look like it could be horses, carrying horses, or I'm not sure what that was, but there was a lot of vans there. And my older sister is actually a veterinarian. And with a storm, destructive storm like this, they may be moving horses to a safer area or not. Maybe it was just they were traveling, but you can see a lot of CG cloud to ground lightning strikes going on and looking at how dark it is. And so you can see he's like meeting the junction of 70 right now. You can see the major highway, cars riding across, and he's going north toward it. But look at the sky, and what you can see there is you can see kind of the blue color of the sky, and that is kind of indicative of very heavy rain and also some large hail as well. So again, he's nearing the junction of I-70 right now, a major highway interstate that is across northern Kansas and is no stranger to, and he's about to get on the highway. They are no stranger to, and truckers on this road, they're no stranger to severe storms. And so Dorian is going good. He's being cautious. He's going at a steady pace. I'm going to see right now if he's merging onto the highway. He's traveling east. And so he's trying to get out of the way. Oh, everyone. Oh, I've got some great people. Oh, I'm doing great tonight. I'm so glad you are joining me. We are live on the Weather After Dark YouTube channel. I'm live on X. So we're doing basically dissecting the severe weather threat that is ongoing here across Kansas. We had a couple reported tornadoes earlier on in southwestern parts of Nebraska with elevated storms. Now everything's kind of congealed, been outflow driven. They're diving south. And something very similar to what we saw last Monday, June 8th in Salina, Kansas, more central Kansas, is happening where we've had a couple very strong storms. They merged together. Then other storms have feeded into it. They interacted with outflow boundaries, ingested some storms from the southwest. We've got now the strengthening low-level jet as we head towards the sunset into the evening. And so everything is in play. They're interacting with the warm front. So again, this is a huge MCS mesoscale convective system that is developed. So what we're going to do while Dorian gets into a safer, better position, because it's very important for them to stay safe. So Dorian we did watch him. So we will clear this off. So Dorian was tracking on a northern road. Now we saw him literally live. He merged onto 70 and he's tracking east, and he's smart in doing so. He's outrunning the rain. We've got others. You see these arrows right here? These are other chasers. they're getting the heck out of Dodge too. They are, oh, there's that Gronia. And you can see he's actually getting into the rain. And so again, they're starting to run away as fast as they can, safely as they can, just so they can outrun the strongest of the winds. So again, all the chasers, you can see other chasers here, are just trying to get as far east as possible. They may be realizing that this is more of a damaging wind threat, which it is, and rather than a tornado threat. We did have a couple reported tornadoes as well. So we're going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to re-rack the show a little bit. It is 8:49 Eastern time, 7:49 Central time, and we are watching this big MCS now, mesoscale convective system, in northwestern Kansas, diving southeast there, continuing to dive southeast. So we were talking about Gove and Quinter. Gove, literally, you're going to get the strongest winds here in the next 10 minutes or so. Quinter, you're going to be getting it as well. And then Grainfield, you're getting it. You'll get the strongest wind. I do want to double panel this really quick and look at any reflectivity. Again, we did have a reported tornado. You can see it right here, right around between Menlo and Hoaxie. What you can also see right around Colby, Kansas, is we had multiple reports of 90 plus mile per hour wind that caused some significant damage. We have a 90 or 80 mile per hour wind gust here, tornado farther off to the north, and we've had multiple other tornadoes that were reported farther north of there. So again, it's been a very busy day, more compact, not quite widespread as some outbreaks have been. But look at the tornado. So we zoom out just a little bit. So McCook, Kansas is right up, or McCook, Nebraska is right here. And so there's Oberlin. And again, we had multiple brief tornado reports right here, just as storms were diving south, crossing the state line. And then they merged together. And then we've seen multiple wind reports and damage reports. But again, we also had a couple of other tornado reports here and here. So I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to recenter everything so you have a better look at it. So we're going to zoom in just a little bit. Dorian, we're watching Dorian. He's moving east right now. The amount of wind with this is extreme. The damaging straight line wind and the hail. We have the threat of 80 plus mile per hour wind gust. And even the Storm Prediction Center mentioned possibly 90 to 100 plus mile per hour isolated wind gusts, as well as up to 3-inch in diameter hail. We've had multiple reports of baseball, softball size hail, ping pong ball size hail. So again, significant hail, and that can cause damage. So you want to make sure you are seeking shelter. You're not trying to see the storm, watch the storm. If you're on I-70 right now and you're heading west, you need to be very careful, especially if you're heading west. If you're east of Quinter, or if you're west of Quinter, right, I should say, if you're in Waukene and thinking about heading west, or you're basically between Waukene and I think Oakland, you need to be getting in your safe place, not though when the worst of the storm is hitting you, but you do not need to be on the highway, on I-70, a major highway. I'm thinking about the trucks that may not know how strong these wind gusts are, and that can be a very scary situation. Along with the heavy rain, the lightning, and the hail, you're going to have such extreme reduced visibility. It is going to be hard for you to see and drive, maintain control of your vehicle. So you need to get to a sturdy structure, a gas station, just ride out the storm, let it pass you, and then you can continue on your way. But you do not need to be driving into the worst of this. We are watching, most of the chasers right now are being smart. And you see the arrow, they're all kind of driving east. We've been watching them trail and drive off to the east. We've got one over here that's probably positioning themselves, trying to get a better view of the storm. One is still pointed this way. I'm not sure what they're doing, but they need to be changing their direction and getting out of the way of this storm. Now we're going to zoom in just a little bit right here. So Grainfield, Grinnell, we've got Oakley. I apologize, I said Oakland. But this is where, so look at how this still has rotation in it. And I want to show you the rotation and kind of like the bowling ball feature. See how it's just kind of rotated itself? There's this overarching spin and rotation, and you can see it in this storm. And so all along the front here, the front of the storm, I should say, especially like back here where we're seeing some more higher wind speeds and rotation, but all along, right around here, where you're seeing the greens or the blues next to the reds or the pinks, that's where you've got rotation. And uh, blue, if you see a blue, that's a stronger wind speed, and pink is a stronger wind speed. So the pink and red are going away from the radar, whereas the green and the blue are going toward the radar. And so when you get them back to back, that's when you can get some rotation, because there could even be a little bit of extra spin right here. But it's hard because there's a lot of heavy rain. If you look at the reflectivity on the left-hand side, you can see, like, you may be able to see a brief spin up out ahead of it, but there may be some embedded rotation. So you have to be very careful. But this is a significant threat, wind threat more than anything. And we've already seen significant damage, especially right around the Colby area. Looks like Oakley had an 80-mile-per-hour wind gust as well, estimated 70, 80-mile-per-hour wind. And so clicking on each of these, again, this was that one tornado that was reported. They viewed it touching down. And then we had several 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts right around the Colby area, another 80-mile-per-hour wind gust. So this was by the NSSL Mesonet again. So again, we've had the NSSL out there. They actually measured a 90 or 89-mile-per-hour wind gust earlier as well. So again, we're seeing what you're seeing right here dissecting this storm is you've got the heaviest rain, but also the hail, the largest hail within the brightest pinks, some more bright pinks here. But the biggest circle here, this is where you're going to have the hail potentially up to 3 inches in diameter. Hopefully that'll weaken, the storm will weaken. But again, it is very powerful and is moving off to the south and east. I'm going to single pane this. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. This also, this area of storms, I'm going to highlight this really quick. Just moved through Goodland. It's got some strong wind gusts in it as well, and had some ping pong ball size hail. And now those areas, Colby, you were already impacted by the northward movement of this north to southward movement of this storm. You were already impacted by this, basically Boeing MCS, but now you're going to get clipped by this off to your west too. This is mainly moving off to the west. So again, many areas that already had some damage, reported wind gusts, you're going to be impacted by that. And I'm going to take a look really quick at the radar and what that severe thunderstorm warning is telling us, because there's numerous different severe thunderstorm warnings for different storms. So again, we've got, let's see, we've got a couple extended off to the east. So we're going to look at this really, really quickly. And we're looking still at the one. We'll see if it extends. So again, this is probably an older one. They're overlapping a little bit. So we're going to see how far they extend. When it comes to this right here, I want to look at the motion really quick of this storm so you can see it's merging. And so Gove, you are about to get some very, very strong wind gusts. If you're not getting some strong wind gusts already, I need Healy. Healy, heads up for you. Dighton. So we have Healy, Dighton, and even Scott City, Utica, anywhere in between. Again, you need to be getting into your safe place. Think about protecting your car, getting it into under your carport, in your garage, whatever you can do to protect it, because again, this right here is heading your way. Now, what you see right here, we've got a new flashing severe thunderstorm warning, and that's what I was waiting to happen because the other one was going to expire in 2 minutes. So we're going to look at that one really, really quick. I'm going to see if we can get the update. I'm looking on my phone as well. I usually manage multiple things. I like looking on my phone and on the screen all at the same time. And I'm actually there's other storms around too. So we're going to zoom in on them. but this is the one that I'm very much so concerned with. So we've got an interior severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see if we can grab that. They're kind of two different ones on top of each other. So let's see if I can get the most recent one. And then we'll kind of go from there. This one, let's see this one really quick. That's a rainfall discussion. So again, you can see what you can see right here is how significant this is. Look at all that lightning. So much lightning. Now we've got our weather watch team. So some of them are trying to get out ahead of it again. They want to get a better view. So we've got Dorian and Dan right there diving south. We've got a few other chasers now trying to dive south to try and get in front of it just to see. So again, this is a very a serious situation, MCS, mesoscale convective system that has been generated by a lot of interactions between outflow boundaries, merger of cells. And so we're also watching this one in particular as well. So we're going to see here, I'm going to try and let's see. We're going to get this update. Okay, perfect. This new updated severe thunderstorm warning, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and $half size hail. That is for this right here. So the good news is 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, $half size hail. That's a lot better than 80-mile-per-hour and ping pong ball size hail, but still damaging potentially. So 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and $half size hail. So Colby, you're going to be clipped by the northern end of this. So something to keep in mind. So you just need to be careful of that. These areas, Scott City, Healy, Dighton, Utica, be prepared for 70, 90-mile-plus-hour wind and 2 to 3 inch size hail as this huge complex dives off to the south. We do have, that'll be moving south of the tornado watch area here soon. And you can see on the eastern side of it, this is where you're getting the significant spin right here. So that spin is where we've had a couple of tornado warnings and a tornado reported. We also had tornadoes reported earlier today. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-rack here a little bit. There are some other areas that are experiencing severe weather. So we're going to zoom out so you can have a better idea of the focal point. This is in northwestern Kansas right now, where this is. So I'm going to circle this. We are in northwestern Kansas. McCook is actually in Nebraska, so I got a little excited with my colorings. This, we've been watching, paying attention to this. Look at all these reports up here of 60 to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some hail. That's more elevated convection that is north of the warm front, but the risk for that is damaging straight line wind and hail. So what I'm going to do, what's great with weather front, we are going to switch the radar to Nebraska. And so what's great over here is you can look by the states, right? So we are looking down here, Nebraska, where do we want to go? What's going to give us the best view of the storm and what we are going to do? So we've got Omaha. I think that is the best view. So look at all of these individual. We've got this guy that's the strongest cell that we have that it has that history of the wind gusts and some of that damage. That's right here. We've got a couple smaller cells, one east of Geneva, one near Beatrice, and one just south of Falls City, just off to the west of St. Joseph. This is Kansas City, the headquarters, Weather.Watch headquarters. So all of this is tracking off to the south and east. So Kansas City, you will be getting some storms as we head into the evening overnight hours. So something to keep in mind. If you're a storm fan, storm lover, this is Mother Nature's Father's Day gift, but obviously we don't want any destruction. There is the risk for that in the wind. So something to keep in mind. Now let's look farther north where we've got multiple areas of convection. Look at this. So this is severe thunderstorm watch as well. And we're going to zoom out so you can look and see where exactly we are. So we've got North and South Dakota. So I'm going to look at Rapid City's radar right now. We've got a couple mesoscale discussions. We've got this one in particular, where we've got the severe thunderstorm watch, 55 to 70 mile per hour wind and up to 1.25 inch size hail. but I want to look at the specific radar. So we're going to look at South Dakota really, really quickly. Get as far south as we can. And let's see right here. And this is what I like about the Weather Watch app because it easily allows you to look at the different radars. So again, we can do Rapid City and get a better look of some of the storms there. And there may be a closer radar, but what I want to look at here is we got a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. We have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. One moving through Hot Springs right now, Chadron. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. And one's knocking on your door, Hemmingford, Scottsbluff, Alliance, and we're going to look up there. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to just get an idea of what we can expect with these storms. And likely it's 60-mile-per-hour wind, just like we were looking at. And yes, so the biggest concern is 60-mile-per-hour wind, which is some great news. These storms are moving off to the east at a slow pace at about 20 miles per hour. So again, these storms moving very slowly. So just keep that in mind, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible. We got a little beast of a storm right here near Hyannis. So let's see what we've got here with this particular cell that we've got that's just off to the west of Mullen. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning here for you. It's moving off to the east at 40 miles per hour, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. That is for this little guy, but beast. If you were on the ground watching this as a storm chaser, you'd be like, that's an intense storm. That's a big storm. So again, we have that in place as well. And we're going to zoom out just a little bit more. What I do want to show you is the overarching severe weather threat that we have for today. And the biggest thing is the wind and the tornado threat. And this is what they did here. So I love this. I love this right here. The National Weather Service, we got to get our radar back to Kansas. So let's get our radar back to Kansas. Let's go back up to the Ks. Let's see, stand by really quick. There's a lot of Floridas. Oops, we went a little too farther north, and that is okay. I'm scrolling through really, really quickly. We've got Kansas again. So let's see, we got Dodge City, Kansas, and we've got, let's see, we've got Goodland, Kansas. That's where we want to go. This is where the worst of it is. So again, we've got chasers now. They've gotten farther east. They're starting to get a little bit more south. We've got, it's hard with the southern roads to know what you're going to get into. And you definitely don't want to be on a gravel road or a dirt road. You've got multiple chasers now still tracking east on 70. One gutsy kind of guy looking straight at it. But again, this is where we've got the large area. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Large severe thunderstorm warning right here. And so that is that whole little rectangle right up there. And I didn't encompass all of it, but this is where we've got the biggest the biggest area of the severe thunderstorm warning. So again, we are looking at 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. So the good news is we're seeing some weakening, and we should expect to see some weakening, but we are. But this is encompassing Scott City. Remember, I circled it just about 10, 12 minutes ago. Healy, Dighton, Utica, Ransom, Ness City, Almada, Ness City right there, and then Almada. Brownville, you need to be ready for this. McCracken, you got to be ready for this too. Mazine, you got to be ready for this. So again, this is diving south fast. The great news is maybe not as destructive as what we had earlier on. Up to 70+ mile-per-hour wind gusts, potentially quarter-size hail, maybe even larger than that. But again, this goes until 9 o'clock Central Time. So another 52 minutes for this. And again, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, I should say, not 60, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts plus possible quarter-size hail. Again, there's already been multiple reports of damage from hail and straight line wind. So again, this is a significant situation where this storm is moving south at 25 miles per hour. So kind of at a slow pace, especially when there's hail and large hail involved. You want it to move fast so less hail can fall over one location. But there is some significant there's some large hail with this, but also it's moving slowly to the south and east at 25 miles per hour. So again, it's taking its time, but the National Weather Service office is doing a great job and giving you a heads up. I'm also giving you a heads up even before they issued the severe thunderstorm warning. About 50 minutes at a time, I told you what towns need to be on alert. And you can see where we had, remember I told you we had one gutsy chaser looking at the storm. Now they're trying to get out of there. And then we got everyone else moving off to the east too. I think they're realizing that it's not worth the risk of the wind damage possibly knocking down power lines as well as the hail damaging your vehicle. It's just not worth it. So we've got chasers just traveling east on I-70 trying to escape and get away. So if storm chasers are getting away from the storm, you should be protecting yourself as well. I would stay away from the windows. I've talked about this before. We're maybe not seeing quite as large hail as what we saw earlier, but still with 70 plus mile per hour wind and quarter size hail, that can still shatter some windows. So just stay away from the windows. It can knock trees down too. So get to the lower level of your home, stay away from the windows. We could see some brief spin up tornadoes. Right now, we don't have any tornado warnings, but again, just hunker down, hang out with the family. You can watch us live, just continue to watch us wherever you are. We are going to be with you through all of this. Also, think about your car. So if you're in Scott City, Healy, Dighton, Alameda, Utica, Ransom, Ness City, you do have time to get your car back into your garage and under a carport or protect it because the storm is slowly moving off to the southeast at about 25 miles per hour. So you do have some time. So if you're concerned, I would definitely do that. Try and protect it because last thing you want is hail damage. But again, staying away from the windows is the best thing that you can do. I'm going to actually check in on Dorian and seeing he's actually tracking off to the east right now. So he's got the kind of a pretty gorgeous sky at this moment in time. And so I am going to look right here. You guys are amazing and are doing incredible. Look at there's Brady. Brady. Oh my God, I love Brady. Brady is amazing. So Brady, I think I was live with Brady on Wednesday and we were talking about the tornado outbreak that occurred then. Brady, I love you so much. You are so incredible. You're so awesome. I hope you're having a blast with your mom. Brady is one of the best people in the world. A true heart of gold, is there to support anyone and everyone. And I've been lucky to know him for 10 plus years because we were on Stormfront Freaks together. We're Stormfront Freaks alumni and we're still really good friends. We meet up. We were at the hurricane party about a week and a half ago. So yes, we're geeking out. We're doing all the things. And we're continuing to talk about this Boeing line of storms. So Brady, I love you so much. You're so wonderful. Everyone there watching, I think you are incredible. We're trying to keep you safe. Right now, I'm going to get one more thing to drink quick because I am thirsty. I've been talking straight for almost 2 hours now, and I still want to stay on with you. So we're gonna take a quick like 2-minute break. You guys, and we're staying live. But I'm gonna run away for just 2 seconds. So stay with us. I will be right back. You guys are amazing. All right, guys, I am back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I love that you all stayed. Okay, so I don't know if any of you like this. I have an Olipop. Olipops are the best. They're supposedly a healthier soda. So we're drinking that really quick. Hold on. Oh my God. An Olipop is good. And then, so I try to be healthy. Sometimes, not all the time. Look at Dorian. So Dorian, where are we going right now? I'm going to pull Dorian full screen. Dorian's, look at the movement of the clouds and how shaky it is in the wind. There he is. So he's moving around. Okay, so sometimes I love candy. I have like a really big sweet tooth. So these are Sour Littles from Yum Earth. I like it. It's like a healthier version of Sour Patch Kids. So I sometimes try to eat healthy, not all the time. But yeah, so we're getting a little sugar rush. We're getting some substance so we can continue going all night long. So we are doing that. Oh my God, my dad is calling. But I will answer him really quickly, and tell him I love him, and then we're gonna be back on. Actually, I will text him really quick. Let's see. Live. We'll call later. Yes. All right. So my dad, I love my dad, Father's Day, all the things. My plan is to drive down to Jacksonville, Florida tomorrow. So, we're covering storms tonight, and there is a severe weather threat tomorrow. So we're doing all the things, but we're watching Dorian, and what you can see right now is he's traveling east, and likely it might be I-70. And so he's trying to escape. What we're going to do, we're going to minimize this, and we can see, oh, he's driving south. He is driving south. I was thinking he maybe wasn't on I-70. So this is what a lot of chasers are doing. And this is what we did when we were chasing Salina, Kansas last Monday, where they had the 113 mile per hour wind gust at the airport. We were playing cat and mouse. So we got Dorian right now. We're seeing him in the screen. He's diving south. We're watching also this other storm chaser. They're trying to get ahead of it in a better angle. So we've got a cluster, 2 different clusters of chasers who are trying to get out ahead of this beastly line of storms. I guess we can keep it right down here. That's heading towards you. Healy, you've got about 10 minutes or so, 12 minutes maybe, before the strongest wind come and hits you. Utica, you got maybe 17, 18 minutes. Dighton, you have about 22, 23 minutes. So again, you need to be prepared for this. And the chasers here are trying to get the best view they can of the storm, and then give us the ground truth and information. There's a lot of research vehicles out there right now, including the NSSL, that reported an 89 mile per hour wind gust earlier on with one of their research units. So we had lots of reports of 90 plus mile per hour wind gusts around Colby. The good news is it looks like this band is weakening just a little bit. Still 70 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. All that can do damage, knock down power lines. So you need to try and stay off the roads. Don't do what these chasers are doing. You just need to get to the lowest level of your home. Stay away from windows, because with damaging straight line wind and hail, that's not a good combination, because that can cause windows to break and shatter. And you just don't want to be around flying glass at all, or your kids. So just stay away from the windows, get to the lowest level of your home, just in case a tree falls on your home. And also charge things ahead of storms. It's always important to charge your phone, other important electronics that you need. Make sure you have some flashlights, have fresh batteries, all of those things. Think about that just in case you lose power. Always have them in a handy place, just so if you ever need them, you know where to go and find them, like a drawer right in your kitchen. I know many people have that. So we're watching Dorian. We are watching this big line of storms right here. We're watching the chasers. They are going for it. They're trying to dive south and getting a wider out view. You can see that we get the updates here. We're with the Weatherfront app, which is a fantastic app. So not only can we do live coverage, but if you're a meteorologist or a weather geek, There's so many different other features there, but you want to pay for the premium features because it's amazing everything that you can look at with the forecast. And I will be forecasting for Father's Day tomorrow because there actually is a severe weather threat tomorrow as well. So we want to talk about that. But looking up north here, some of the tornado reports, there was one here right around Hoaxie. We had a video of a touchdown there. That was emergency management and softball size hail reported. We had a couple other tornadoes. Brief tornado touched the ground for at least a minute, then lifted just west of Selden, Kansas. So again, we had that tornado touchdown, and we had a couple others that were reported. There was an active tornado on the ground. It just hit my car and got thrown over 10 yards off the road. There's a lot of debris. So that's a very scary situation right there. For that report. Again, that was about an hour ago where there was a tornado that hit his car. So again, we'll have to get some more information on that. That may have been a chaser. Here's another chaser, saw a brief tornado east of Highway 25, lifted during report. And this is always good, you want to lift, and tornado briefly spotted by a storm chaser. So again, likely they were seeing the same tornado as it was briefly dropping down. But we've got this cluster, we are in northwest Kansas right now. This cluster is diving off to the south and east. If we zoom out a little bit, and we'll clear off any drawings that I did. I like to draw. I like to have some fun. So we're clearing this out. And we're looking here. We've got more storms, and I'm going to go to the Lincoln radar so you can see another severe thunderstorm warning here. And this storm in particular, this cell, the supercell, has had a history of wind and hail. You can see that right there. So we've got probably 60 to 70 mile per hour wind with this, and maybe even up to quarter size hail that is diving off to the south and east with this storm. So again, that's another beast. And you got to think about this as we look at the radar in Nebraska. I'm going to have one more kind of Sour Patch Kid here. We look in the radar in Nebraska, we're going to see the storms lining up. And I want to show you that Kansas City, this is going to be moving throughout the overnight hours. So let's do Omaha. And this is what I want to show you. We're going to clear this. We're going to get off the pencil. This is what I want to show you. So Kansas City right now, it looks like if we look at the motion of these storms, the evolution, and isn't it amazing seeing how they're building, but then there's this one particular line that's congealed into this line right here. So again, we've just got this beastly cell with a report of 1.5 inch size hail. So again, large hail with this, likely 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, diving off to the south and east. So again, this is a heads up for you. Right around just off to the east of Marys or Superior, maybe just off to the west, or may impact you, Marysville. But all of these kind of moving in this general direction. They may move just off to the north and east of Kansas, but Kansas, you eventually are going to be getting some storms as we head throughout the overnight hours. So you need to keep an eye on that. Zooming out just a little bit, where we're seeing our severe threat. Again, we were watching these big storms now south of Rapid City. This is moving in from Wyoming, and you can see right around Hot Springs, many of these other areas where we've got the Boeing line of storms. The biggest concern there is 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. I'm going to switch the radar so you can see it. We're going to do South Dakota, and we're going to switch it over. Let's see here, Rapid City. You can see that. I'm going to see let's see. Good news. I'm getting updates from multiple people right now. Lots of messages. We'll be trying to get Dorian back on the phone too. Once he's able to do so safely. I know he's trying to watch the radar and pay attention in a storm like that. You need to be very careful. So we've got this Boeing line of storms just moving out of here of Wyoming. And you can see moving off to the east, and 60 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe even higher than that. So we're going to look at this in particular severe thunderstorm warning here for another 20 minutes. This storm is moving east at 20. Yes, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So again, that can cause some damage. We also have this cell near Mullen too, that we have to be aware of, that is moving off to the east. So this is what is happening today and tonight. I'm going to show you some outlooks really quick because we do have a severe weather threat for tomorrow. So we will zoom out. I'm going to zoom out really quickly so you can see. So this is where we have the severe weather threat, right? From Casper, Wyoming, or actually western and southern Wyoming, stretching all the way down here through parts of Nebraska, extreme northeastern Colorado, down through northwestern Kansas, and then basically central Nebraska, diving southeast. We got numerous storms there. So again, we've got that severe weather threat there. And what we're going to look at, I want to look at the models. So again, we are looking at the day one enhance the tornado threat. Things are gradually changing as the evening goes on and storms move, they update it. So again, we are looking at the greatest risk right here is still encompassing Colby, Garden City, Hayes, and Salina. You are right on the edge. So looking at Kansas City, very, very, very close on that slight risk right there, basically cuts right through Kansas City, and then just kind of a lower end threat surrounding it. Looking at the tornado risk, though, the biggest threat is going to be in the next couple of hours. Colby eastward, including Hayes. Salina, there is still a tornado threat, and also just off to the west of Kansas City, and even a very low end threat in the green, including Kansas City. But the greatest risk is going to be in the next couple of hours as this complex moves off to the east. Looking at the wind, the biggest wind threat is going to continue to be kind of where the tornado threat is, from Colby, Hayes, Salina. Salina, I know you just last week, it took 4 to 5 days. That's what Dorian told us when we were live with him earlier, to fix all of the power lines. Are probably still fixing some of them, but bringing the power back to everyone. So again, you're going to have some more powerful storms possibly. So just keep that in mind. Same with Kansas City. Also hail. The greatest risk for hail likely is getting reduced, is smaller as we speak. Again, we've got this whole area right here. I think we maybe saw the biggest hail we are going to see, that where we saw baseball, softball size hail and 3-inch hail reported. I think we're seeing the MCS, mesoscale convective system, weakening. So we should see that lower risk of hail coming down, which is what we like to see. So again, this is for this is today. Let's take a look at Father's Day, shall we? I know many of you have outdoor plans, grilling out with your dad, or just being outside, right? Because it's the first day of summer. The summer solstice is tomorrow on Father's Day. So it's Father's Day. It's the summer solstice. There's a lot of exciting things going on, but there's a severe weather threat as well. So looking at this, we do have a slight risk here, severe storm stretching all the way from North Platte, Nebraska, down through northeastern parts of Colorado, much of Kansas, central, northern, much of Oklahoma, really, and central, southern parts of Missouri, northern Arkansas, into the southern half of Illinois, southern half of Indiana, southwestern parts of Ohio, stretching from central, northern, and western Kentucky, and just a little clip there of the northwestern part of Tennessee. So you can see a large area of real estate. Looking at the tornado risk, so the greatest threat for tornadoes are going to actually be from Columbia, right around Evansville, Louisville, Indianapolis, and St. Louis. This is actually many of the same areas that were impacted, especially including Effingham, Illinois. So you think about last week where we had more of the significant tornadoes and severe storms right around Peoria and just south of Chicago, northern parts of Indiana. This week, on Wednesday, we had them a little bit farther off to the south. This is going to be the case again. It's going to be farther down to the south for tomorrow, but there still could be a tornado risk a little bit farther to the north. So there is a tornado threat. So if you have any outdoor activities, you're doing anything with a big group of people, maybe there's a Father's Day fun run, there's something else going on, just have someone, if you live in these areas, be very vigilant with the weather. Also, can't rule out this little area, tornado risk here from North Platte to Colby, Kansas. So we've got that little tornado risk as well. And obviously the outer green stretching from, that was really out of the line, Wichita, including Peoria. So all of that. So that's where the tornado risk is. And looking at the wind, damaging wind threat, that basically encompasses just about everyone in the entire outlined that we saw originally. So in the risk area. So that stretches from, you got North Platte, Nebraska, the worst of it, but even farther off to the north, south of Winter, O'Neill, all the way to Wichita Falls, Texas, extreme northern Texas, Memphis, Nashville. So something to keep in mind. Hail, we do have some large hail concerns. So we do have an isolated risk here for hail, large hail stretching from North Platte down through Garden City and Lamar, I believe in eastern Colorado. And then we also have some hail risk east of Woodward, right around Wichita, Springfield, Columbia, and including St. Louis. So again, these are the biggest severe weather threats that we do have for your Father's Day. If we look at Monday, again, just a broad area of storms, rain possible, but there is a little heightened risk right over here across the mid-Atlantic states, including Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Maryland. That's something that we're going to have to keep in mind. And you can see where the focus is right there. Taking a look at Tuesday really quickly. Again, it's too low. You can see right below, you can see where I'm clicking, too low to even really kind of focus anything. So again, we've got that enhanced risk that's continuing for today. Looking at the model run. So as we take a look down south, we have also had some storms, but if we want to look here, looking at the different model runs that we have, this is composite reflectivity. This is the HER. Let's see what we got going on. We're going to do this. So again, we do have the severe storm, this MCS MCS that we've been watching, a little displaced farther off to the north than it is. We're watching the Grand Isle. We're watching this. So let's see what happens as we progress throughout the overnight hours. So let's see if we can put this into motion. You can see things kind of moves through Ness City, Hayes. So this is about 11 o'clock at night. We're going to get rid of this. I'm going to actually get rid of my pencil drawings. So again, this is at 11 o'clock Central Time. Still seeing actually some more storms up here across northern parts of Nebraska. Right around the Lincoln area, a solid cell. And again, watching this mesoscale convective system, MCS, making its way across Kansas. Now, as we progress throughout the overnight hours, this is midnight, again, approaching Salina at this time. We've got some storms around Nebraska City, Omaha, west of Norfolk, right around Mullen and Ainsworth. Now, this is Kansas City, where our weather.watch headquarters are right now. And you can see this is 1 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to turn this off. As we put this into motion, again, things are pretty calm, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. You'll likely start to hear some thunder off to the west. And then boom, 6 o'clock in the morning. That's where you're likely going to get some very heavy rain. You're going to get some lightning with it too. So again, you'll be waking up dads to possibly some lightning and some little kiddos, if they're a little nervous, running into your bed. And that will continue to have some rain. You can see 9 o'clock in the morning, passes off to the east just a little bit. But then you'll get some heavier rain, possibly by mid to late morning. This is 11 o'clock on your Father's Day. Then that eventually passes on through. This is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, still a little bit of rain. That's as far as we go with that particular model run. So again, we will be watching that, and then that'll be all moving off to the east across St. Louis and parts of central and southern Missouri as we head throughout the day. And we will take a closer look at that tomorrow. I will be live for your Father's Day forecast, at least for part of the day, probably tomorrow morning. We'll go live, or I'll record a video so you can see where the greatest risk area is for severe weather for tomorrow. But we're going to get rid of this. and we're going to switch back over to the weather. So we are looking at models right now. Let's take a look and see what we have going on. We're going to switch it back to what we're seeing right now. Whoops. And I'm probably going to sign off here in about 10 minutes or so, only so I can pack and get ready for driving to see my dad for tomorrow. So for Father's Day. So hopefully everyone has some fun plans for Father's Day, because I am going to be having some fun as well. So we're going to look at Kansas. Let's head back up to Kansas, get to the K's. We're having to scroll away. There we go. Indiana. There we go. Let's do Goodland. So let's see how we're doing. And I like what we're seeing. And actually, let's check in on Dorian right now. So Dorian, what do we see? He's diving south a little bit. Ooh, look at that sky that Dorian has. You know he's getting clouds because you're getting the, not necessarily cloud debris, but the clouds out ahead of the main area of the storms. You can see the lightning too. He's driving south. So we're getting some of the view that's coming in. It's approaching from the south and west. So you're getting the view from the south, but look at how dark those clouds are. He is with his dad. And you can see, I love watching the chasers because you've got this one right here. He's like, I'm too close, got to get out of the way. We got Dorian. He's one of the gutsier ones too. He is diving south. Maybe he's heading toward Nest City to get ahead of it. And if we put this into motion really, really quickly, so you can see the both of them right there. Let's see if we can do this. We're going to take the pencil off. And actually, we're going to clear some of the things. Boop, boop. Okay. So what we're going to do is I like to pause this right here. So you can see how everything kind of went through. We had a brief tornado report between Menlo and Hoaxie. We had multiple wind reports, and you can see as we go through in time, I want you to watch as these storm reports populate as I go back in time and look at this radar. And you can see the wind reports. The good news, we're not seeing as significant wind reports or tornado reports. It's weakening just a little bit, which is some great news. You can see it. There was some spin right around Hoaxie. There is still some spin, but not as much as there was before. So Wakini, you're going to be getting the worst of this here soon within the next 15 minutes or so. It's going to be you, Nest City. You still have about 20, 25 minutes. Dighton, I would say you've got about, 12 to 15 minutes. Scott City, about the same. And you can see the general progress of this. So this is all propagating off to the south and east. It looks like we're not seeing as big and significant of a wind threat and hail threat as before. Obviously still severe. We could see 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter plus size hail. But it looks like overall the system is weakening a little bit, which is exactly what we want to see, which is making me happy. And we are looking at Dorian's feed, and you can see just the dark color in the sky and how amazing that looks. And actually, I'm going to pull that full screen really quick. So let's take a look at Dorian's feed, because Dorian is doing a heck of a job chasing. The storm is coming in from coming into him from the west, the northwest, and it's approaching him that way, moving off to the south and east. So again, some significant storms, line of storms are moving through, but look at how beautiful that is. He's just driving down in the beautiful Kansas. I love Kansas, by the way. Kansas is one of my favorite places. It's so flat, it's so beautiful, and just, I don't know. I mean, you can see for miles upon miles. You can watch storms develop 100 miles away. It's so wonderful and such a beautiful state. And actually, every state is beautiful in its own right, but Kansas is one of my favorites. One day I will be, I'll be in Kansas. I will have a house in the middle of Kansas. I will be in Kansas living maybe in Kansas City. I don't know, somewhere fun. But yeah, so this is a gorgeous view that we have of Dorian. He's trying to get ahead of it. And so he's hopefully going to turn very soon and give us a look. But what you're seeing is kind of the clouds out ahead of the strongest part of the storm. Kind of you get this like eerie overhang of those clouds. And you can get that from the upper level winds aloft, kind of blowing them out ahead of the storm. And so that's what you're seeing right now. So it looks eerie, it looks ominous. And you can see the power lines just off to the left, and also a little bit of lightning as well. But that's why I was saying earlier with the winds, and there was the potential for 90 to 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts. You don't want to be near these power lines. You don't want to be driving on the road, because we saw what happened in Salina last Monday. And then we saw what was happening earlier today, where there was damage and power lines were already snapped right around Colby and other parts of Northwest Kansas. So the last thing you want to do is put yourself at risk or anybody in your car at risk. So you just want to be as smart as possible. But you can see we are driving down this road. Dorian is doing great. You can see Dorian is right here driving south. And what's interesting about this, actually, check out this lightning strike. How far it is away from the storm. That is likely a positive lightning strike. A positive lightning strike will come from the top of the storm and be kind of like not a bolt in the blue, but you'll be like, it's sunny where I am. There's no rain. I don't have a risk, even though there's a storm right next to you. That positive lightning strike is like 10 times stronger than a negative strike that is typically underneath the storm. So a lot of these are negative lightning strikes. And these on the outskirts are positive, dangerous lightning strikes. Look at that. So even if it's not raining where you are, and maybe you're not under a severe thunderstorm warning, but there's a storm nearby, you still have to be aware, because if you're close enough, there could be some lightning strikes from the top of the storm. That would be a positive, because typically you get the negative charges at the base of the storm. So it's the negative lightning. The positive charge is at the top of the cloud or the top of the storm, and that's where you will get the lightning. And it looks like we are having, look at Dorian moving around. Look at that storm. Look at that right there. Let's take that full screen. Oh my gosh. You can see, if you can look a little bit, so you got the center of the storm, and look to the left-hand side where it's brighter. You see that sign. You can really start to see the structure of the storm. You got the lightning. You get the gentle blowing of the wind of the grass right there, but just how prolific that lightning is. And then you can see the different lowerings that you've got going on there, just off to the west or to the left of the center of your screen, where it's a little bit brighter. The sun is nearing sunset. It's 8:42 Central Time, 9:42 Eastern. So again, we're nearing sunset, and you're just getting this gorgeous view. Dorian and his dad, Dan, we are on a Father's Day chase, and it is amazing and fantastic. So you're watching a big truck too. So the truckers have to be careful. There may be something heavy in that to keep that truck steady, but the last thing you want to be doing is driving toward a severe storm like this on I-70 or any road where you're a high profile vehicle and have the risk of toppling over. So the good news is it looks like the storm is weakening some, obviously still packing a punch. 60 to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, up to quarter plus size hail. Still can't rule out a brief spin up tornado, but that is on the lower threat. The bigger concern is the straight line wind and the hail. But look at this view. You can see the lightning. Again, we'll have you guys looking again. This is the storm. So we were looking at lightning bolts earlier on, talking about negative versus positive charge lightning. But again, so this is, you can see where he's pointing at the storm. You can see where he's looking. He's right there. He's got a gorgeous view of the storm. I'm going to put the storm into motion really quick. You can see how it's propagated. We had a couple tornado reports earlier on in extreme northwest Kansas. Now the storm continues to propagate. Very strong, damaging straight line wind gusts, still 60 to 70 plus mile per hour. along with some quarter plus size hail. So this is approaching you. He's just north of Ness City. Dighton, you're getting into the light to moderate rain. Ness City, this is coming for you. And then you got to think of Jetmore, Burdett. I'm going to move this a little bit, or La Crosse. This is going to be heading towards you. So let's see. We've got weather.watch live. We're going to pull up full screen again. Look at how dark and ominous, especially to the right where he is. Now, that is a gorgeous view. Let's see if, oh, they're starting to move again. I think he's moving at a different angle. They may be trying to, oh, look at that. Look at that. Dorian is doing such a good job right now, positioning himself, getting a better view of this. So this is the beast. This is the MCS, mesoscale convective system, that is diving south and east across northwest Kansas. He is trying to kind of focus his camera a little bit. It's a little blurry, but we've got a better angle where we're seeing the lightning. He's adjusting it just a little bit. He's one of two chasers. You know, there's some other chasers there, but what we're seeing on the Weatherfront app, he's one of two, at least on that app, that we're seeing that are actually going out and trying to get ahead of this beast. But look at it. And what you're seeing in the center of this storm right now is the very heavy rain. You kind of see that glow. It's where the heaviest rain is, and also possibly the hail. But you can see the lowering part of this storm where you're seeing lots of lightning. And actually, this storm reminds me of one when I was chasing with the Stormfront Freaks 2 years ago, almost to the day, actually. It was maybe 2 weeks, maybe earlier in June, but 2 years ago. Brady, Stormcat 5, was with us as well. And we were watching this gorgeous storm in eastern Colorado. And you can just see the striations. You can see the lowering, the lightning, which is lighting up the core of the rain. And there's hail in there too. It's just a stunning view right there. And we can continue to stay on this. And I'm going to see, actually, I'm going to look on the app on my phone while we're watching Dorian's feed live to see if we have any updates on here. And the good news is, I would say the tornado risk is kind of winding down, which is great. And I just went through what we are expecting for Father's Day for tomorrow. I will give a more in-depth Father's Day forecast tomorrow morning, but you can look and see how dark it is. You can see the lightning, the lowering of the cloud, all of the things right there. The heavy rain. You can see now. Check out the tall grass right there. You see just their waves. It's like waves of wind going over the grass, flowing likely toward the storm, because you're getting the inflow into the storm. And then once the storm hits, you get this rush of cool air, because basically you get the rain cooled air in the mid levels of the storm that's heavier than the updraft, and it kind of rushes down and gusts out. And so that's how you get some of the strongest winds. The power of the storm kind of forces the strong mid-level winds down to the surface. And that was a gorgeous cloud to ground lightning strike just on the right-hand side of his screen. I mean, look at it. It's just nonstop lightning in there, because this is a beast of a storm. And right where they are, again, still some large hail with it, and also straight line damaging wind gusts. We'll see. They should be issuing a new severe thunderstorm watch, or not watch, warning here soon for the surrounding areas, just because we're closing in on the edges of this particular severe thunderstorm warning. But look, as this storm is approaching them, how strong it is. You can see the leading cloud edge as well, just the nonstop lightning, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter size hail. This is moving east, or actually south, I should say, at about 25 miles per hour. But look at that lightning. It is very intense. Well, I take a sip of my Olipop, which is giving me energy, also just allowing me to talk a little bit more. But we should be getting that extended soon. And they do have a new mesoscale discussion um, farther down the line to include Great Bend, Garden City, Dodge City, and Hutchinson. So again, severe wind gusts exceeding 75 miles per hour will remain a concern over the next few hours, with the southeastward progressing MCS, which is what we're viewing at right now. Dorian is giving us the amazing live feed. And so this is the ground truth. He's showing us exactly what's going on. And watch, like, close in and look on the grass, like the ripples of the wind. We've got a cold pool driven MCS. Yes, with a history of 60 to 100 mile per hour wind gusts. This is uh there's also depicts an elongated hodograph and shear, which could lead to ongoing storms to sustain a bowing structure. However, preceding the MCS relatively neutral, slightly stable, may eventually encourage a weakening trend in the next 3 hours given nocturnal cooling. And I think we are seeing that weakening trend. So this trend is also suggested by the latest HER, and but until then, severe gusts, a few potentially exceeding 75 miles per hour, remain. So what we're seeing, what we've been talking about, what we've been identifying on radar is a weakening trend, which is some good news. So still, we are still bowing out, still potentially up to 70, 75 mile per hour straight line wind, and maybe up to quarter plus size hail. But the severe threat is, we think, winding down. They will still likely issue an updated severe thunderstorm warning here soon because it's still bowing out, probably for a 60 mile per hour wind and quarter size hail. But it looks like the threat is going to be weakening some, which is some great news. But this is fantastic. I'm going to see if we can get Dorian live on the feed to talk about what he is seeing. But this is the large MCV. Let me see if Dorian, let's see, you want to try and join us again. He is awesome. Again, for 5 minutes. So we'll see if Dorian, so I messaged him about an hour and a half ago to see if he wants to hop on. Just click the same, the same link. So we'll see if Dorian can join us again while we're watching this, but just look at, oh, yay, Dorian's gonna join us. Okay. So I'm gonna he's gonna click the same link. You can see, I love how Dorian has the headlights on where you can now really see the grass, the inflow into the storm. Yes, you are getting some beautiful views. Oh, that the drink has a very bad taste, the Olipop. Oh my God, you guys are so awesome. Yes, the lightning. You guys are so wonderful in the comments, and I've been kind of going nonstop. Brady is awesome. Everyone is so awesome in here. We're bringing in Dorian right now. Dorian is in. We can't really see him, but Dorian, we have your amazing feed live with us right now. We've got 110 people watching your feed. We've been tracking you, your every move. Let us know what is some of the craziest things that you've seen so far this evening. And can you describe right now the view that you're seeing at this current moment in time? And it looks like the good news is that the NCS is moving into a slightly more stable environment. So we are seeing some weakening. And so we likely won't nearly see it as strong as it was earlier on. But give us kind of an update on what you've been experiencing so far.
Well, just been trying to stay in front of it. The dust from earlier was probably the most intense when it was up near, I don't know, where was that?
Hoxie.
But yeah, by Hoxie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, this is kind of like the eastern edge of that line coming in, and it looks interesting. I can see some structure out to the west of me. Here, I'll move so you can see it. It's kind of at the sunset over there. So
Yeah.
it's definitely, I don't know. There, this thing could kind of shape up maybe even if it's still weakening.
It's true. It's true. You can never turn your back on a storm because you never know what it could possibly do. Yeah, that view, we were watching that, looking at that earlier, where you could see some of the storm structure and everything. And you guys have a gorgeous view, Dorian. And it looks like you're kind of out there by yourself. Not many chasers seem to be around you. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's true. A lot of them are diving south maybe to get in front of this thing. I'm debating whether I want to do that because I kind of just checking this out right here.
Yes.
Um, so I don't know if I really want to go too far south.
No, I agree with you. And there's some, I mean, there's different areas of rotation right along it. I mean, you could still get a brief little spin up tornado. You never know. So, yeah, you're playing it smart. I would be the exact same way as you because there's some very strong damaging wind gusts, and they should issue a new severe thunderstorm warning here soon for surrounding areas as it continues to dive south and east. Dan, Dorian's dad, how do you feel? What's your observation, Dan?
Well, pretty much agree with what Dorian said. We've seen some incredible lightning,
Mhm.
uh, and the structure seems to be changing quite a bit. Um, yeah, that's what's been really great, just being able to sit and watch the lightning move, and then us move away from it, but it's still following us basically. Uh,
Yeah, it's like a cat and mouse game a little bit.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's beautiful. But the wind that's being pulled into it though has just been ceaseless. Whereas right
yeah,
now, sitting in the car, it seems great, but I don't know if you can see the view on the camera, but like the wheat and weeds are still just really blowing around, and we've got a strong wind behind us coming into, being pulled into this storm.
yeah. There's a very strong, like low level jet, but also just the inflow into the storm. You're getting that warm, moist air just feeding right into it. And you're positioned very well. Dorian, you did a great job because we are seeing the wheat, we're seeing the weeds in the grass. I mean, we're seeing like it's just looks like waves. It's actually beautiful to see. We're getting comments here talking about how it's so cool to see the grass and the lightning show. So it's an intense lightning show, and people are saying hi. So it's a father son duo on Father's
Yes.
Day weekend. How fun is that? It's so cool. Are you
Yeah,
both
and
going?
the summer solstice occurring at 3:24 this morning a.m.
Look
will be great.
look at you going the exact time. Dan, are you like a super weather geek? Did you pass that down to Dorian, or did he pass that to you?
It's hard to say. I've really always enjoyed astronomical, meteorological type events, but
Yeah.
never got into the storm chasing. Though had thought about it at times when in its infancy, when uh, there just weren't no one was really doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no,
But I was
and
one of those kids when we'd be in a tornado watch or warning. I would be out of the basement up on the porch trying to get a picture of something.
yeah,
Uh,
no, I totally get it. It's fascinating, and that's why it's so hard when you get a tornado warning like alert on your phone or you hear the sirens and you're like, I know I need to seek shelter, but I'm also so fascinated. I want to see it at the same time. But then if you don't know what you're doing or looking at, that can put you into danger. So, but you've got the best person to chase with, and I can tell that you have natural instinct as well. Have you lived in Kansas your whole life, Dan?
oh, pretty much. I wasn't born there. I was an Air Force brat. So I was born in
Oh,
actually in Louisiana on an Air Force base. And
mm.
basically, my dad retired in Kansas. And so I say I got stuck here because of that, though I have lived other places over the years, 10 years in Houston and
Oh,
several
wow.
years in Colorado, where
Nice.
Dorian was born. If
Oh,
that's
I
not
didn't
too
know
much information, if that's
I
not too
didn't know
much
Dorian
information.
was No, it's not. Tell us more stories about Dorian. You're just on a live feed with over 100 people. It's okay. We
Uh,
welcome that.
What's
Um,
funny, both our daughters were born in Kansas and both our sons were born in Colorado.
oh,
Uh,
that's so fun and unique. And look at the wind. Oh my God, I'm really seeing the wind right
oh
now.
yeah, it's really, yeah, kicking up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, as the storm's getting closer to you, you can really, really see it in there. Dan, that's so cool. Where do you reside now currently in Kansas? Are you close to Dorian?
Yeah, we're in Topeka.
Okay,
His
cool.
mother, my wife, she was an Air Force brat also, and so basically that's we met in Kansas, so
Oh,
and we were both had Air Force fathers that retired there.
You are so cool, Dan. I just love this story. Keep talking while we're looking at this gorgeous, like severe warning storm, and I'll update you. Oh, really quick, we're gonna do the updated severe thunderstorm warning, which we were waiting on, and then Dan, I want you to speak more. And I'm gonna show you guys this because Dan, you're so fun, and so are you, Dorian. I'm shrinking this really quick. Their view. You can see where they are right now, but this is the new where you see it right here. This is the new severe thunderstorm warning we were waiting on. So the details are for that. It's moving southeast at 35 miles per hour, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail still possible, along with prolific lightning, which we're seeing, and very heavy rain. So again, just the best thing to do is stay away from the windows, just because with the straight line wind and the hail, that can break through windows, and you don't want to be near flying glass. And also with the wind can knock down some trees. So you want to get to the lowest level of your home. You don't have to hunker down like it's a tornado warning, but just just be smart and about your surroundings. Just stay away from the windows. But we are watching the gorgeous view that they have right now of the storm. So we're going to bring it back full screen. And we've got Dan, Dorian's dad. It's a Father's Day storm chase telling us, look at that. Look at, you can see it's really coming in now. You guys see like what we typically call like the spaceship view, the shelf cloud kind of coming over, the striations. Dorian and Dan, that is gorgeous to see at night, as like it's exactly 9 o'clock Central Time for you. I like the chuckle. Dan, is this the best Father's Day gift ever?
Oh yeah, it's great. Spending time with Dorian and all my children is really fun.
Oh
But
my God.
yeah,
I bet. I bet. How many kids do you have, Dan?
four.
My gosh. Dorian, I did not know this. I need to know Dorian and talk to Dorian more.
uh, two boys, two girls. Of course, they're all they're not boys and girls anymore. They're men and women. But
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I bet they are very lucky to have you as their dad. You are
I like to
absolutely.
think so.
Yes, they are. A happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Like seriously, thank you for your service, Dan, and Dorian, for what you do. We've got a lot of awesome people. We have Steven that is on Weather.watch. He's the brains, the tech behind everything, who set oh yeah, what is that? A close lightning strike, Dan?
Yeah,
That was
it was
huge.
just off screen, but I'm going to tilt over a little bit. That was.
They were aimed kind of right about where it came.
It
And
strobed for like 5 or 6 times.
yeah, maybe we'll get another one there. It was, yeah.
Oh
And
my
it's right at
God.
the edge of that big cloud there. That
Look at you, how you can still see like it's a little bit, God, look at the view. It looks like a spaceship right now with like windows, like with the thinning a little bit of the clouds up above where they look like three different windows. You've got this spaceship. Like, what is about to happen? This is so cool. I love this view, and we appreciate you being out there. Are you both chasing tomorrow? And where are we going to chase if we're chasing? Because there's kind of a little bit of an area, kind of in a threat in southwestern Nebraska, northwest Kansas again, but the much larger risk is farther off to the east. So, are you chasing? And if you are, where are you chasing tomorrow?
That's a good question. I'm not sure yet. Just kind of see how this plays out and then go from there.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I totally understand. Yeah. And it's more so something we need to look at the high resolution models, the dynamics. And honestly, it's kind of what we've seen over the past couple of days. What happens as this kind of clears out and moves through? And then how does the atmosphere recover? And different surface lows and things track. Like there's a lot of different factors in play. And it was kind of cool earlier today because you can always see it. You can find the fronts. We could really pick out the warm front across southern Nebraska. There were temperatures were in like the 60s, whereas just to the south across northern Kansas, they were in like the low to mid 80s. So you could really pick out where the warm front was located. So there's a lot of micro scale forecasting that goes into deciding and determining where severe weather will be and where the worst storms will occur. So This is fascinating. We are getting this gorgeous view. If you're just joining us, from Dorian and his dad Dan, it's D squared on Father's Day weekend. It is awesome. And it's like we've got like the mothership here, like supercell structure. You can see the lightning lighting up the cloud base. It is stunning. It is gorgeous. And then you can see some of the brief little thinning of clouds high up where there's still a little light in the sky. But we are past sunset. And Dan, when does the summer solstice occur tomorrow?
Yes, 3:24 a.m. If you're up late, you can catch that
Yeah.
moment.
Yes, you can catch that moment, which is so cool and so unique. And I can't believe it is the official first day of summer and typically the longest day of the year. But fun fact, not the longest day of the year, which we say longest day, but the longest amount of daylight time uh,
Wow.
um doesn't always occur on the solstice. It can occur like the day before, the day after, even a couple days before or after. So it just depends. But oftentimes it's that day, but it can vary just a little bit. So it's very cool. But anything else that you've noticed or seen structure wise that has made this like MCS and storm stand out? Dorian, I know you have a lot of experience, but anything else cool other than the haboob, basically, the dust storm that you encountered earlier today? Has there been anything
Not
else unique that has happened?
not really. This is probably the best structure I've seen yet today. Um, Definitely have some. You can see the upper wind kind of carving out, um, those clouds a little bit. So that this is definitely the best I think that I've seen
I
today.
love large hail falling, or have you been kind of staying away from that a little bit?
Say that again.
Have you seen? So we've had some crazy large hail reports of
Oh
like softball, baseball size. Have you seen any of those?
no, yeah, I try to stay out of anything that big. If it's over 2.5 inches, I'll usually try to avoid that with my car. Um, so no.
Yeah, we were watching everyone. We were watching all the chasers. Like literally, we're all driving east on 70. Like everyone's, and I was talking about it live. Oh, it looks like we're struggling a little bit with our signal. Oh no. All right, are we coming back?
Yeah, I think the clouds are starting to mess with the Starlink.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because
Oh, it's totally okay. And actually, I'm losing signal. So I'm not sure what's happening. You guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
yes,
Let's see.
yes.
All right. Okay, good. Let's see. We're trying to get things back up.
I guess it's not going to bless us with another great strike like that.
I know. I mean, it might.
It could, yeah. I hope it does.
It's gonna.
That was just awesome.
I know. It's crazy when it strobes like that for so long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. I'm surprised this phone actually is
Well,
looking like that. The windshield's a little dirty, but
it's pretty good camera on it.
I know.
Actually.
I'm
Well, that's
surprised.
the thing. The Samsung cameras have always been pretty decent.
I know. No, I didn't think it'd be a good streaming camera, but it's not bad. Crazy how we sat in this spot for so long, and it's just. All right, I'm gonna close out of it.